Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to be here in the Zain's house. Thank you, Jeff, and his wonderful wife, that thanks to her birthday, I'm here. She decided that instead of making, some kind of a regular birthday, maybe it's better to make a shiur Torah. And we saw how many people came, Baruch Hashem, to the first lecture, and all of you here waited until midnight to start. It's lo inyan shel ma bekach. It's not something so simple. Baruch Hashem deserves strong admiration. For those of you who doesn't know me, and I see some faces that were not in the previous lectures that are here, I speak 20 years, about 20 years plus, and I've been in many cities and countries, Baruch Hashem. I started very small, and Baruch Hashem, with the years, I came to millions of people, and I have, Baruch Hashem, a lot of views. An average video goes to tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands views on each video. And the website is one of the most popular in the world. And the reason that it's popular, I promise you, is nothing to do with me. It's just the way I presented God's wisdom. It's his wisdom, it's his credit, it's his Torah. Oh Hashem, he helped me to present it in a way that some people felt attracted to learn more. Once you get them interested, we're giving them CDs and DVDs, which I brought you many free ones. Please take advantage for the car, DVDs. I had few famous debates with skeptic, with a Christian priest, and all kinds of, the controller of New York State came to argue with me in a public lecture. All the money of New York State in his hand, in his signature. Billions of dollars. Very powerful person, professor to history. He was in the same class with Kennedy, the president that got murdered. And he was a real sharp person, really. And when you deal with such sharp people, it's not so simple, because they know how to talk. And they're clever, they know history, they know the facts. You can't say something without them asking strong questions. For about 50 minutes, I spoke to him live in a lecture, question, answer. And in the end, after the lecture, I asked him, well, Mr. Avesi, what do you have to say? He said, I still have some doubts. I told him, well, you came here a complete atheist. 2 hours later, you still have some doubts. That's a very serious progress for one lecture. He looked at me like that. I said, why don't we sit one-on-one and I clarify all your doubts? And he said, absolutely, I would love to. I was thinking to myself, politicians, they tell you what you want to hear. Politicians, well, he's going to tell me, of course. He's really going to meet me. But surprisingly, about 9 days later, his assistant called me up. He said, what about your word to meet Mr. Avesi? Is it on? You were serious about it? I said, of course. He said, so when do you want to do it? I said, tomorrow. When? I gave him a location of a quiet restaurant. We met the next day. We sat for 3 hours, one-on-one. Massive attack from one of the smartest people I met in my life. Maybe the smartest. One of the smartest for sure. Sharp, clever, sharp brain, speaks to the point. Everything he detects. And after 3 hours, he got up, told me, I have to understand, all the FBI, CD Hall, all the courts, Supreme Courts, fire department, schools, unions, everything in New York State, 20 million people is in his hand, the pensions of all the workers. That is, it's like the treasury of New York State, which is about 3 or 4 times bigger than Israel. Think about it. So it's a very powerful person. Friend of Warren Buffett, and Queen Elizabeth, and Ariel Sharon, Shimon Peres was telling me some of the stories. And somebody like that, he got up, and there are witnesses to that. He said, I never believed in my life that religion can be proven scientifically. I'm really, quite frankly, I'm surprised, very surprised. I always thought it's a matter of faith. I heard so many discussions about religions, Jews, Christian, Muslim. It always stay a matter of belief. You want to believe, that's it. You don't want to believe, it's your word against the book word, that's all. But for the first time in my life, now I feel I don't have any more questions left. I know 100% it's divine, and this book came from God. You proved it to me. And I said to him, so what are you going to do with that? So his answer to me was, and I'm telling it to you in front of a camera. You can go and check. You can call him and ask him. You can call his office. I won't tell you something that didn't happen that evening. So he said to me, well, I'm a lost case already. I should have met you 30, 40 years ago. I said to him, why? You're still alive, you can still fix things. He said to me, come on, I'm 68 years old. I just found out I'm married to a non-Jew. I just found out my kids are not Jewish. Where exactly I will start to fix? I said to him, believe me, even a partial correction counts. So, that was the end of it. He went to his way, I went to my way. Okay. A few days later, he told me, that was the last time I spoke to him. One more time after that meeting, and that's it. Never heard from him ever again. He told me, well, I just want you to know that after my meeting with you, I changed my mind about one thing. For a few years, the people that are in charge of the March of the Living, when Jews go from all over the world to Auschwitz, they subsidize the trip to Poland, Jews from everywhere go. He said they've been after me for a long, long time to do fundraising for them because I know all the important people. And I refused, but after speaking to you, I felt I got to do something to my nation, to my Jewish nation. His grandfather was a Chassid from Satmar, from Hungary. And he is already, Hashem Yerachem. He said to me, I felt that I have to do something for my nation, and I decided to take the offer, and I will do fundraising for them. I was thinking to myself, Chaval, you would do fundraising for my CDs, you get 1 billion times bigger reward. We save Jewish souls. I mean, Auschwitz is important. It's a shock to every Jew to wake up to understand, but it's much more important to give a Jew my CD, Torah and Science, that have 4 hours of proofs that no one in a history still have any answers against those proofs. No one. You will never find. Bring anyone you want. I met with judges. The head prosecutor of San Diego is a personal friend of mine. He has now a yarmulke on. And many sharks that are very clever people. Famous people, few celebrities in Israel. One of the most famous singers, I sent someone behind the scene to give him my CD in Hebrew, Torah Umada. You know him, Shlomi Shabbat, the singer in Israel? Oh, sure. Shlomi Shabbat was complete Chiloni. 2 weeks after he got my CD, he became Shomer Shabbat, started to go to Shiurei Torah. You understand? So why? Because the CD is very, very strong. If you're honest, all you have to be is an honest person. Not someone who look to lie for himself and live in a lie. If you say, you know what, whether I like the truth, whether it's convenient for me, whether it's not convenient for me, that's besides the point. First, is it the truth or not? That's first step. I will not be a politician that knows that he's right and I'm going to lie thinking I'm right. No. First, I'm going to hear the evidence. I will hear your claims. If I don't have a way to contradict you, then I have to surrender. If I can contradict you, then we continue the argument. You have to answer back, right? That's the way debate is done. This was my introduction here for tonight. And I would like to ask some of you, I know from what I ask around here, that most of you don't live according to the Torah. I don't have anything personal against anyone. I'm not putting anyone down. That's my job. I deal with people that were not religious, and after we sit, they usually become religious. The question is if they want to face the truth or not. I can tell you already right now that if you're a fake, hypocrite person, please go and sleep and have a good night. You don't want to waste your time with me. But no, honestly, I mean it 100%. Why should you stay until 2, 3 o'clock at night? Anyway, you don't have any intention to change. Only the people that are honest, that after they hear what I have to say in the next hour, and they say, listen, this guy is bringing solid evidence that the Torah could never be written by God, by a person besides God. Only God could have written it, the creator of the world. What does it mean to me that after he finished his speech, now I know that the Torah is the word of the creator of the world. What does it mean? That life can never ever stay the same. If you are an honest human being, you can never live in a lie after that. Your conscience will kill you. I have my conscience. I see things that happens in the world. My conscience is getting killed every day, almost every hour, with what I see. When I see a person that has a beard and is a thief, it kills me to see it, because it's not supposed to be that way. When I see a person that's claimed that he's a rabbi and he speaks Lashon Hara and make damages, it kills me, because it's against what God said to do. But there's a difference between this and when I see secular people, and I'll explain what I mean. When I see a religious person committing sins, it's very painful to see it. But I know one thing, we all have our evil inclination, and it's very strong. And people are not angels, and they fail. Sometimes they fail by stealing, sometimes by getting angry, sometimes by not keeping Shabbat 100%. They fail a lot. Nobody is an angel. There's not one person in the world that can raise his hand and say, you see, look at these two hands. 8 years I'm alive and I never made sins. There's no such thing. Not in this generation at least. So sins everybody makes, even the most religious people. Rabbis make sins, unfortunately. Students make sins. Secular makes sins. Everybody makes sins. The difference is on the frequency on the sins. A holy, serious Talmid Chacham Tzaddik that learn and love Hashem makes a sin once a month. Once a month, accidentally. Why did I say this word? Chaval. Forgive me, I apologize if I offended you. You already feel I made a big sin. Accidentally, he touched the light on Shabbat. Wow, I didn't realize it's Shabbat already. Things like that, it's accidental. He saw someone that he wasn't supposed to look at her, and he was really staring in a not modest way. And then he said, what am I doing? I'm a religious man. I have to watch my eyes. Come on. Later he eats his heart. He asks Hashem next time he pray, forgive me. I know it wasn't right. Help me out. That's already tzaddik. Tzaddik, I make sins, but at least his conscience works. The biggest danger is when the conscience of a person begins to die. Let me explain to you what I mean. When a person gets a job to be a hitman, he's unemployed for 3 years, doesn't know what to eat, his children are starving, he cannot find a job. That's it, they're about to take his home and put him on the street. Toronto, 20 below zero, kids will be on the street, the marshal is already sending messages, 72 hours, he'll be on the street. He doesn't know what to do. He has a very big test in life. Will I be on the street tomorrow? Shabbat is coming. Where is my children going to be in the snow? I have no relatives here. What am I going to do? I don't even have tickets to buy to go to Israel. Where will I be in Israel? It's a very big test. His friend is calling him up. Hey, buddy, listen, I see the situation. I can help you out. What? You want to be a drug dealer like me? What do you mean a drug dealer? Come on, I'm not a criminal. Listen, it's really not a crime. What do you think? Without you, it's going to get done. Kids that look for drugs, they find the drugs. You think they need you to find the drugs? Come on. Don't be too righteous. You're going to get $20,000 a week. 3-4 months, you'll be very, you come out of all your debt. No, yes, no, how can I do such thing? Don't worry, I'll help you out. I'll do the dirty job. You just sit in a car. That's how they get him in. 2 months later, he's got piles of cash, buy himself a nice car, whatever. Oh, and he become a murderer. The kids are getting killed from his heroin, non-stop. And he's a massive murderer, and he thinks, what am I doing? They want to buy drugs. They buy drugs, not my problem. It's not true. Because even when you drive an Ahmed to commit suicide inside a club in Tel Aviv and kill 20 Jews, you cannot say, I was only a taxi driver. With or without me, you will get there. No, they put you 20 years in prison when they know you drove him in with his bombs. Nobody cared that he could get another driver. You're a partner to the murder. You'll never get out of the Israeli Shabbat. Your life will never be the same after that. Even in prison, even after prison, you'll suffer for the rest of your life. Why? For $100 I drove him. With or without me, he would do it. I'm the reason he killed. Everybody knows that not. He would kill without you. But you chose to help. You're a murderer. You're a helper to the murder. So now let's explain what's going on here. When a person kills for the first time, got a job, a hitman. He got a job. First time he had to shot, for 10 minutes, his finger was shaking, tears were falling off his eyes. The fever, heat in his head went to 300 degrees. How am I going to do such thing? Look, this person is married with children. What? But I'm getting $50,000 for it. I need the money. But how I'm going to kill a person? How? I'm going to... Some of them even say, Shir Lama'alot Esai Na'alarim before they do it. Hashem, help me out to aim good. Right? What do the thief do before they rob the bank? They read Tehillim all day to be successful. Right or wrong? I'll tell you a joke. One guy, he came to the shul in the middle of the day. He comes inside the shul, the gabbai is sweeping the place. The gabbai is saying, why this crew come to shul in the middle of the day? It's not a time of the mincha. So the gabbai came to hear what he said. He open up the Aron Kodesh, hug the Sefer Torah with tears. Dear God, please, what? I want Ruach HaKodesh. I want like prophecy. This is the biggest con in town. Stealing from here, fooling everyone. The Gabbai is fuming. Says such a Rasha, he wants Ruach HaKodesh? Ask to be a person first. Then you worry about having prophecy. Then the Gabbai just couldn't take it. And he said, excuse me. Can I ask you a question? Yes, what? How do you have the audacity to come here and touch the Torah with your filthy hands that is full of blood and money that you stole from people and ask God to have Ruach HaKodesh? Who do you think you are, the Baba Sali? So he said to him, enough, relax, I know what I'm doing. So he said to him, I want to hear, I'm very curious. Why do you want Ruach HaKodesh? So the crook say, I'll tell you why. I break into people's house 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. I come with a little flashlight, everyone is sleeping. I come inside. I'm always worried if the man in the house will hear noise, he's going to come out with a knife or a gun. Then I will have to stab him and he shoot me and I kill him. I don't want to kill people. So I say, God, give me Ruach HaKodesh. As soon as I come into the house or the apartment, right away I know where the gold and diamonds and cash is hidden in a wall. Here, inside, under the wall unit, under the ground. Right away I know where the money is. Quickly I open it up, I take the money and I'm out of there. Otherwise, if I have to look around, he's going to come, he's going to try to stab me. I'm going to throw a bottle in his face, I'll kill him. I don't want to kill him. So I ask Hashem to help me that I'll find the cash quickly. So the Gabbai couldn't believe it. He let him out of the shul, and he came to the rabbi and said, can you believe this crook came today and begged? I was hugging the Torah with tears and asked Hashem for Ruach HaKodesh and tell him the whole story. And the rabbi said, his ear should listen to his stupid mouth. He comes to the synagogue because he knows it's a holy place. He opened up the ark and hugged the Torah because he knows the Torah is from God. He knows God is watching. He knows God can give him Ruach HaKodesh. He knows he can do whatever you ask him if you pray right. But one thing he doesn't know, that Hashem can feed him in a kosher way without being a thief. Asking Hashem to help me when I steal, that it will be done clean job. You understand how foolish we can be? So I want to ask you now a question. What do you think is the number one reason why there are secular Jews in the world? How there is such a thing? It's not logical. And I'll tell you why it's not logical. If you know Jewish history, and all of you are Jews, and you come from family of Jews, so if you know the Jewish history, until 210 years ago, it was almost impossible to find one Chiloni in the whole world. It was almost impossible to find one secular Jew. Any country you went in the world, all Jews were religious, Orthodox religious Jews. All of them. All Jews were like that. Until one Jew, Orthodox rabbi by name Moshe Mendelssohn. You heard about him? Mendelssohn. Moshe Mendelssohn was an Orthodox rabbi. better in his knowledge than all the rabbis you know around here. He know a lot more Torah than the rabbis today, 200 years later. Do you know how much Torah people knew 200 years ago? But Moshe Mendelssohn decided we cannot stay primitive. We have to learn what the Goyim teach in university as well. We learn Torah all our life.
A scholar.
Let's get a scholar, secular studies. What's the problem of learning secular studies? The answer, none. My children learn math, English, science, grammar, all kinds of things. They learn Torah most of the day, but they also learn secular studies. Well, you need to know how to read English, you need to know how to talk, you need to spell, you need things. You live here. One day you have a store, one day you have a business. You don't want to look like, excuse my language, like a total moron. You don't want to look like that. There's minimum education that you need, and you need secular studies. So what is the problem in that case? The problem is, how do you get your secular studies, and where, and from whom? You learn it from kosher Jews in a kosher place with kosher people around you, and there's time for Torah, time for secular study, fine. But you go to where the Goyim are, all the naked girls. Remember, 200 years ago, it wasn't bad as today. People were very modest back then. But the way they talk, and they believe in another God. They believe in a Son of God. They're all ultra-Christians. Many of them are extremely anti-Semite. You want to go in a university in Germany and sit with all these bloodsuckers that dream for the day they can spill your blood and step on it, and you sit with them in a university and you think everything is fine? Moshe Mendelssohn went to the university. 10 years later, all his sons started to meet Christian girls, met and married Christian girls, and converted to Christianity. Within one generation, all his family became Goyim. Because when you marry a non-Jewish woman, all your children are not Jewish according to the Torah. You have no connection to them. You die one day, you go to one world, they go to a complete different world. All the millions of dollars you spend of them went to the garbage. You have no credit for it. You don't have pruvu. You need a boy and a girl, and they have to be Jewish. And if your wife is not Jewish, your children are not Jewish. As painful as it may sound, that's the truth. And I didn't write the Torah. It was up to me. I would give a discount to those who did it. I feel for them. I mean, they didn't mean bad, I'm sure. They fell in love with Christine, and they ended up there. I'm sure they didn't sit and think, I want to get God angry, so I'll marry her. Especially when some of these Christines are very nice women. They treat the Israeli boyfriend very nice. They take care of him when he's sick. When he takes his overdose, they are the one who takes him to rehab and tax it and whatever you call it. They work for him. They pay his credit card bills. They lend him money. So he said to me, Rabbi, I never found a Jewish girl like this. How do you tell me she's not good? But I don't understand that the Torah already was aware of it. And the Torah said, the worst Jew in a history. You know, who's the worst Jew in a history? Find whoever you want. The worst Jew in a history. And the most righteous Christian person cannot get married. This Christian, or forget Christian, a goy, a non-Jew that keep the 7 law, he loves God, all day he reads Psalms, he gives charity, he never steal, he loves God so much, he loves Jews, he admired the Torah, an Israeli drug dealer, full of tattoos, full of stealing, murdering people, waking up at 1 o'clock, his life is garbage. Every word that comes out of his mouth is dirty and garbage. The way he looks is garbage, excuse my language. And this angel, whatever her name is, Jennifer, Maria, whatever you want to call her, this angel righteous woman that loves God and all day praying and never steal and never curse, and she's decent and honest and generous and devoted, and God is putting a stamp on her head, kosher Gentile. She has a special place in heaven of the Gentiles. And this guy, there's no share to the world to come. And she agreed to marry him. She's 1,000,000 times better than him. And he's not allowed to marry her. It's a very big crime. I want you to explain to me what logic doesn't make to you. What's common sense here? If she's 1,000,000 times better than him, he has to kiss her feet that she agreed to marry him, no? It's nothing to do with good and bad. It's not racism. It's nothing to do, because if it was racism, I'm better than you, that's why I won't marry you. But if I wanted to agree, include myself, that she's much better than me, she's doing me a favor that she wants to marry me. I'm not doing her a favor. I mean, how can I be better than her when everybody knows she's a million times better than me? It's nothing to do with better. It's nothing to do with prejudice or racism. Hashem say to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, because you are righteous people, and I tested you once, twice, 10 times, many, many times, and you passed all my tests, and you were devoted and righteous, and everything I expected you to do, you did. I am making a covenant with you for eternity, that I will never replace your children with any other nation. I will give my Torah to them. I will bring them to the Holy Land. I will give them a peace in my land. Eretz asher enei Hashem Elokecha ba mireshit hashana v'ad acharita. The land that the eyes of your God is in it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Special place. I'll give it to them. I'll keep my covenant with them. Not thanks to them. Not thanks to us. We deserve nothing. Make it clear to you. Only that we have righteous fathers. Thanks to them we got the Torah. What about Christine or Jennifer or whatever, or Fatma? Tough luck. She didn't come from the royal family. Hashem did not make any covenant with her grandfather Muhammad, or with Christopher, or with Eric. No covenant. The covenant was only to the sons of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Now what happened if the Jews marry anybody else? That's it. The Jewish nation will be disappeared. Why do you think we have only 13.2 million Jews? Did you know that we started in the same generation like the Chinese people after the flood of Noah? Read in Parashat Noah. Vayoled et Asini. Our grandfather Shem, our race came from Shem. Someone that hates Jews, his name is anti-Semite. Sem, Shem, Ham, and Yefet, the three sons of Noah. So if somebody hates Jews, he hates the children of Shem. And Shem was the uncle of who? Of the Sini. So the Chinese and the Jews started in the same generation. The Hebrews started in the same generation 4,200 years ago. After the flood killed all the people in the world. 8 people started a new world 4,200 years ago. Today it's 7.5 billion. So we started like the Chinese in the same time. The Chinese have restriction on birth. They allowed only 1 kid. You're not allowed 2 kids in China. You become pregnant again, either abortion or you have to go out of China to give birth. You cannot give birth to a second child, you can go to jail. So what happened? Chinese have 1 kid in a family. Those who live in China, finished. If Chinese did not have restriction on birth, they should have been today about 8-9 billion. Because of the restriction on birth, they're about 1.5 to 1.78 billion. Almost 2 billion, let's say. The Jews started in the same generation of the Chinese, and they never had restriction on birth. So if the Chinese is almost 2 billion, we should have been 4 billion. You know what? Let's not exaggerate. 1 billion for sure we should have been. Why are we only 13 million, not even 1% of what we should have been? 2 answers to this question, critical question. 1, intermarriage. We sold our covenant with God, and we prefer the beauty of Jennifer and Christine, and we sold the Torah and Hashem and the covenant, and we got cut out of the Jewish nation and our children. That's one reason. It didn't start today. People were marrying non-Jews back in the days already. And the second problem is, no nation got killed by the Goyim more than the Jews. The Holocaust is the biggest tragedy in modern days, not in history. In modern days, there were very big tragedies in the Jewish history. When the Jews, the first temple and the second temple got destroyed by the Babylonians and the Romans, they also killed so many hundreds of thousands of Jews, and some say even millions.
And they got exiled to other countries.
And there was the exiles, and the Jews were all over the world, and they got assimilated. Bottom line, we are a very small nation. But the interesting thing in the Torah is that the Torah has a prophecy. I love you not because you are the biggest nation. The opposite. You are the smallest nation on earth. Ki atem ame'at mikol ha'amim. How did he know? How the writer of the Torah 3,300 years ago took such a huge risk when the world begins from the Jews, begins, there's no other nations. Shem is the first generation. How can Hashem say to the children of Shem, I make a covenant with you, I love you, I chose you from all the nation to be my children. The reason I love you is not because you are the biggest nation. The opposite. Ki atem ame'at mikol ha'amim. How did you know? Technically, we should have been, like I told you, a few billion people. What would happen if today the world has 3 or 4 billion people and we would have to read in the Torah, Ki atem ame'at mikol ha'amim? Would I be able to stand here today and lecture to you that the Torah is divine? You'll make me look like a fool. Say, yeah. The Torah is divine. Please explain this mistake. The Torah says, you know why I love you? Because you like diamonds. It's very hard to find. Lots of sand, lots of metal, lots of garbage, 1 diamond. After all month of work. Here is 1 raw diamond. Very little. Why? Precious. Something that is massive doesn't have a value. If the world will find today 500 million tons of gold in somewhere under a big mountain, mountains of gold, what would happen to the price of gold in the stock market? It would drop from $1,200 to $200 in 2 hours. That's what happened when Bet HaMikdash was robbed. There was so much gold in the Jewish Bet HaMikdash that the price of the market went down within 1 day by 50%. Chazal write in the Talmud. That's how much gold the Babylonian robbed in 48 hours of hundreds of soldiers, taking from the wall all the gold, big chunks of pure gold with all kinds of crazy, taking it out, robbing it from Bet HaMikdash, taking it to the market to sell it. The price of gold dropped in the world. It wasn't like today, electronic stock market. Still, there was a market for the gold. The rumors spread around. Prices of gold went down by 50%. Let's go back to what we started. I'm going to make now one bombastic claim, and I stand behind it. In 20 years, many people challenge me on that, include professors and scientists, people from NASA, professor for evolutions, all kinds of teachers, all kinds of big lawyers and judges and whatever you want. Not just fools. Also very clever people. I'm going to make one claim here. How do you know if a book is divine or not? How do you know? Here is a book. I came here, I say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a messenger of God. He gave me this book. I have to be the prophet from now on. I'm communicating with him and give you instruction what he wants. I'm a prophet. All of you must listen to my book. Do not move left or right from the book. There will be punishments. There will be executions. People would lose their share to the world to come. There's such a thing. The soul comes out of the body and goes to a very good place in heaven or hell. Don't mess with me. Here is my book. Now remember, it's in the primitive days when it's written by Feder. So it's the Torah, like the same way we have. We never change. Original scroll of Torah. I'm holding it in my hand. I showed up in front of 4 million people. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, God gave me this book to give it to you. How long would it take to know if I'm right or wrong? What do you think? How long? First of all, how would you examine? To know if I'm right or wrong, it's 50-50. Maybe God gave it to me. Maybe he didn't give it to me. Most likely he didn't give it to me. Because a lot of people are hallucinating, making up stories. I'm God. I'm JC. I'm Eliyahu Navi. I'm this. I'm that. I'm Muhammad. Whatever. People think they're something. Maybe they took something a little bit extra strong. So they think. I got a call one time on Shabbat. כבוד הרב, אני רואה את הקדוש ברוך הוא. I hear it on my answering machine. That's why I cannot stay in my body. I must kill myself now. So I call to say to you goodbye. I'm sorry I'm calling now, but you never see me on your lectures anymore. He's talking, and I'm thinking to myself, should I answer or not? Pikuach nefesh. In the end, this fool made me answer the phone. Monday I found out he took LSD. You understand? We saw Eliyahu Hanavi, Baruch Hashem. You know? So the answer is...
If you take LSD, you see Hanavi.
So the point is like this. I make a claim right now. Many thousands of people try to challenge my claim, and so far they all fail. But it's not me. Remember, I'm nothing here. I'm not even a factor here. I'm talking a concept here. The Torah against the world, against the skeptic, against the atheist, against the Reshaim, against the Gentiles that don't like the Torah or the Judaism, against all the enemies of that book. I have one claim. How do you know that God really gave the Jews the Torah, yes or no? 80,000 religions and cults claim the same thing. What did you think Muhammad say? That angel Gabriel gave him the Quran. Why do you think the Christians say? That they also have evangelists and books, Mark, John, Matthew, Luke, all these people. Where did this come from? Also they call it divine inspiration. How do we know that we, the Jews, are the only one that correct and can prove it, and they're all full of baloney?
We had 600,000 witnesses.
The Arabs also say, Bachar banu mikol ha'amim. Don't you hear ISIS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not exactly that he chose us first, right? Because he offered something. He said, it's written that he offered the other Amim first.
No, he offered the other Amim to join us.
To join us.
It was never an option not to take us, because he made already the
We
covenant.
have proofs.
The proof that
We have proofs. When we get the Torah, everybody see it, all the people.
Right.
When Muhammad went to desert, he was alone.
Very good. You answered the correct answer, but I'm going to continue to argue with you. Now you be the rabbi and I be the skeptic.
You know why I know? Because I listen to you up. That's why I know. Not because I'm smart, you know.
At least you're humble. You have good midot. Baruch Hashem. But I'm going to be now the other way. I'm going to be the skeptic. I have one question to ask you. How do you know that what you claim really happened? You say we, the Jews, millions of us saw it. How do you know? I can also write now a book and fake a group of 50 people and claim that my grandparents saw an event with Hashem in front of millions of people. And here I am bringing you their truth from 100 years ago. How do you know it really happened?
The book Torah, like what we have, no mistake. Even no one mistake.
Right.
It's possible.
It's also correct. It's also correct. But how do you know? Let's focus on a question. How do you know the Jews really received the Torah from Hashem? Maybe somebody planted in history. A faker. Muhammad fooled so many people, and today have 1.5 billion people, and how much do we suffer from this nonsense?
There were other religions that also acknowledge the fact that they just got the Torah also.
It's still not a proof. You're right. The fact that if Reuven go against Shimon to court and they fight about money, and the brothers of Shimon admit that Reuven is right, not their brothers, that's a very strong help for Reuven. Look, even his brothers admit that I'm right, but it's not a proof.
Or even his enemies admit he's right.
Even his enemy. Yeah. Let's say the enemy of Reuven came to the judge and say, we hate him so much, but we have to admit that he's right in this case. We saw it. Maybe they got bribed. Maybe he bribed them. Listen, I know you hate me, guys, but I'm going to pay you so well. I'm asking, we know by reading the Torah that Moshe spoke to Hashem and everybody heard. Right. I know, I'm not saying no. I'm saying prove that it happened. I'm not saying no, I'm not saying yes. I don't know, I wasn't there 3,300 years ago.
When Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the Torah,
No?
when Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the Torah, he said we went out of Mitzrayim.
Right.
So when you say something like this, it's like now I say we were here 1,000 people, and everybody going to say, what, you liar, what is 1,000?
I got your point, you're right. I'm going to speak about it. Go ahead.
פרשת ואלה, הקדוש ברוך הוא מצווה את אברהם לעשות ברית מילה.
Right.
Now, this supposedly happened before 3,500 years ago.
Right. Before the Torah was given. Right.
It's only proven for the past 10 or 15 years. So the reason we do it on the 8th day, not on the 7th day, because in the blood you have hemoglobin.
I got it. Vitamin K. So I tell you what I'm gonna say. I say today we have Baruch Hashem scientists. 3,500 years ago we also had very big scientists. Then something happened in the world, people became stupid, and then another again, a wave that people became smart. So there were scientists already 3,500 years ago, and they knew about vitamin K, and they decide to cut the orla in the 8 days because they knew about vitamin K. Prove that I'm wrong.
The mikveh, a woman's mikveh.
Yeah.
It's proven that there are 52 more bacteria in your water in the sea than in a woman mikveh that women goes in and out, goes in and out. So how is that?
No, that's a different reason. I can explain to you, that's not a proof. I tell you something very, very simple, very simple. You told me Avraham Avinu. I'm going to be even worse than what I was. I said there was no Avraham Avinu. Somebody told you fairy tales. There was no Muhammad, there was no J.C. Penney, and there was no Avraham Avinu. People made it up. There's no such thing religion. People made it up. Why? I'll tell you why. There was one day a person that wanted to control his nation. The nation didn't have religion. Everyone did whatever they want. Wait. Let me finish. I'm being now the skeptic. He took me serious, this guy. Huh? What do you think? I'm a reform rabbi here? Hello? I came to convince you to be goyim, Baruch Hashem. Chazak u'baruch.
It's like my message from today.
Jeff, soon the rumor on the street will say that you brought a reform rabbi here.
I said they convinced you. You went the other way.
Okay. Shh.
Never mind. They're gonna
Okay, let me finish what I say. I come and say, one day there was a person, he wanted to control the people, but he cannot control millions of people in his nation. He had to do something that they will all agree to listen to him. How will I convince all of you to be my servant, to give me money, to kiss my hand, to be quiet when I talk, to take care of all my needs for me, to listen to my rules? No. How will I convince you? I have to convince you that the creator of the world chose me to be his representative. Thanks to him, you will believe in me. Not thanks to me. I'm no different than you. You smart, I'm smart. You rich, I'm rich. You poor, I'm poor. Whatever the case is. I cannot prove to you that I'm better than you. You know how to smoke, I know how to smoke. Well, what makes me better than you? Nothing. How can I convince millions of people that I'm a messenger? How someone like Muhammad, who didn't know how to write and read, he couldn't read and write, how he convinced Arabs in a desert that he's a prophet?
You made with hummus.
With the soup.
The answer, Muhammad didn't have any proof, so he took a sword. He took a bunch of his cousins. They went from one tent to another. I'm the new prophet. Allah gave me the Quran. Allah came from the word Elohim. Allah gave me this book, and I'm a new prophet. Everything that was until now truth, this is the last book of God. And all of you have to listen to me. And they say, no. The Jews have the Torah. They got the Torah. What do you now, a prophet now? All of a sudden, Yeshua. So listen, become Muslim or I'll kill you. Exactly like ISIS. And they say, no, we don't want. Shh. Right away, they kill them. All kids, women. So people started to get scared. So he started to convince them. Same thing, ISIS. If ISIS go in Syria to neighbor, I saw when I was on an airplane, somebody next to me looked at something with ISIS. How they go to places with guns. They go into the store. Kif chalak, ya achi, halan usalan. Yeah, what? What is this over there? Is this alcohol? No, chas v'shalom. No, God forbid. It's not alcohol. Don't worry. It's only a bottle. I found it on the street. It's nothing. Look, it's water inside. Okay, good, ya achi. Everything is good. Take this sign off. It's not modest. Now what is he? He's not religious, this guy. You can see right away. They come with all this thing. He's not religious. You can see he's fake Muslim, this guy. But it's shaking from them. You should see how it's shaking from them. What happened now? People are forced to be religious. If not, you get killed. After a few generations, there's nothing you can do. That's it. The religion is already there. That's one possibility. Here you go. How Christians made 2 billion people believe this nonsense? It's really, really foolish religion. What's going on? That's another question. One woman came and said a story. She had a dream. God came to her in a dream and made her pregnant, and the boy is holy, and he's going to be the Messiah, and all this nonsense. Anybody saw the dream? No witnesses. One day the boy was born, is a Jew, still a Jew, died as a Jew, and after 100 to 300 years after he died, people made him a god and started a fake religion. You understand? How many people started Christianity? One person. Because of a dream. Can you prove a dream? No. How many people started Islam? One person. By telling a story that I was alone in a desert and the angel Gabriel gave him the Quran. No witnesses. Right away, story of one person. How the Jews started, millions of people heard the voice of God. You cannot fake such a thing. You can't fake to millions of people if they heard or didn't hear the voice of God. Now you may come and tell me, you have a very good point, but I tell you what happened. It really never happened. One day a Jew started to convince his friends that it happened to the grandparents. You know, the grandparents of my grandparents, they left a letter and I found it. And it shows that God came to him and they heard his voice and he gave them a book. And here I found the book. Here is the book. I found it in the attic of my grandfather. Look, God gave it to them. How long ago? According to here, it was 100 years ago. And everybody come, wow, it's a very smart book. Okay, let's live according to it. If God gave it, let's all be religious. Maybe that's what happened. How do I know Judaism didn't start like that?
It tells you a true prophet will tell you a good prophecy that has to come true, because a bad prophecy, God can always change the
But here it's not a prophecy. It's a story about something that happened 100 years ago. Now let me tell you how we know for sure that the Torah is 1,000,000,000% divine. And then I will ask you why you don't keep it. So get ready that you have what to answer me when I ask you how can you ignore the word of God. So listen carefully. So far I'm still nice with you. Soon we're going to move into a different mode. Don't worry. I can be bad here if I want. You can relax. So the point is like this. The point is, when I want to fake that I am a messenger of God, what reason do I have to do it? Reason number one, money. Reason number two, honor. Honor. I want to be the best. Reason number three, I think I'm the smartest and everybody must accept my opinion. Reason number four, somebody has to be the boss. And if it won't be me, it will be somebody else. It better be me. Somebody has to be. I'm going to steal the kingdom to myself by telling stories that God came to me. Did I forget anything? Honor, money, control. I'm the smartest. More or less, that's the only reason why a person would fake that he's a prophet. You agree? Okay. Now here I come with a book. I want to be your boss. I want to fool all of you. I want all of you to start give me 10% of your income every month or every week. I want all of you to kiss my hand. I want all of you to stand when I come into the room. I want to say whatever I say and all of you will tell me forever, yes sir. That's what I want. How do I make you agree to such condition? It's not so simple. If I want to make you my followers, when I bring you the book that I fake, I really never got it from God. I faked it. I sat in my kitchen for a month and I wrote it. When I come to you with this book, will I give you a book that is difficult to keep? Or a book that is very easy and everyone would love and say, yes sir, no problem? Why will I tell you something that you hate? For instance, Why do I tell you have to get up early every morning? Most people like to sleep. Sleep, don't have to pray. Pray once a year for 2 minutes, enough. Why do I have to tell you you have to dress this way or that way? I know you're going to get angry. Dress the way you want. You can be naked on the beach. Why do I care?
The Quran is also strict.
Wait. We'll get to it. Wait. The Quran is a faking of Judaism. You'll see soon how they did it. But what will I give you? Will I give you a difficult book or a hard book to keep?
Difficult.
No. Easy. Easy. Easy or not?
Easy.
Anybody think I will give you a book with 613 laws to make you hate me? It's defeat my purpose, right? Why would I make so many laws that you're all going to get angry? I'll give you 5, 10 laws. Everyone is happy. I'm a leader. Like Christianity, everything is allowed. Very easy. So listen carefully now. When I give you the book, let's say I made one mistake. I wrote so many mitzvot, 613 mitzvot. I went crazy. Come on, guy. You went too crazy. 100 is not enough for you. 613, come. Leave us some air. Right? So wait. So when I made a mistake, I got carry on. So now when I finally made that mistake and I wrote so many mitzvot, do this and do that, do not do this, do not do that, will I make all 613 laws logical and acceptable in the mind of a human being? Or I would make 80% of them against human logic? Do I want headache? That people constantly fight me and tell me, what's this nonsense that we have to do? Where did you get this nonsense from? Or I'm only going to say things that it makes sense. You should not kill, makes sense. You should not steal, makes sense. Don't take the female of your friend, makes sense. Respect your parents, makes sense. Don't speak gossip about people, makes sense. Be grateful to people who did favors to you, makes sense. But, why to eat matzah make any sense? Like cracker.
Or cheese with meat.
Or cheese with meat. Or to clean the house. You know, wow, there's a little crumb of bread. Bring the candle. Oy vey. Elephant. You know how they say in the Israeli army? Oh, you have pilim po, pilim. Elephants. Wow, look what it is. A breadcrumb. Look. Wow, chametz. Karet. You put it in your mouth, that's it. You don't have a share to the world to come. Would I make you love me with this law, or I will make you hate me with this law? You will say this guy is not normal. What?
Scientology.
Huh?
That's Scientology.
Wait. Everything that you answer, we'll get to it. I won't leave one end loose. Just be patient. Then I say to you, every time you touch fire on Shabbat, you have to bring a goat, a sheep, go all the way to the mountain in Jerusalem, travel for 2 weeks. It costs you $300. Stand there online all day. Give it to this guy that is the son of Mr. Cohen. Not this guy. This guy, Elbaz, don't give it to him. You understand? Be careful. Only Cohen has to get it. He cuts. He takes a drop. He put over here. He takes another drop. He put on his toes. And this part he has to burn. This part he has to eat. This part he has to give to you. What's going on here? Tell me, what is this? It costs us millions of dollars, your religion. Give us a break. What do you gain by million sheep every year to kill? Fine. If it makes any sense, no, we do it. We put it on a grill and we give it to the poor people. Fine, I understand. You say, you know what? You got your punishment. You made a sin. Give the steaks to the poor people that don't have what to eat in Yerushalayim. No, I understand. At least it makes sense. But a lot of it you have to get burned. Or you give it to this Kohen. What does he have to do with me? The fact that I touched the light, I have to give him now a sheep? Doesn't make any sense. To hold lulav, like this. Excuse my language, like a fool. Oh, Shahana. Looks like a Chinese that bowed down to Buddha. What's the difference? They'll walk in the street like this. Sit in a sukkah. You have a $12 million mansion. Where I live, that's what's going on. Beautiful big mansions. Come to the $1,000 sukkah. Shady sukkah. This Mr. Billionaire sitting in a sukkah, sleeping in a sukkah like homeless. What did I gain by that? I made that law. No, you will give me one reason why a normal person will make such a law. Leave your mansion and sleep in the cold or the heat in a sukkah with bugs, with flies, with bees. Why would they like me? What did I gain? Let's go one by one. Did I gain honor? No. I did not gain honor. Did I gain that people like me, they appreciate me? The opposite. Did I gain that nobody resists me? The opposite. Everyone wants to kill me. They wait for the opportunity. But it gets much worse. Get much worse. I say to thousands of them now, 20, 50,000, tens of thousands of the nation, you must divorce your wife. Why? We live together, we have kids. Why? You cannot touch your wife anymore. Why I cannot touch her? Because she's the sister of your father. So, everybody here married the sister of his father, his aunt. Until now it was legal. Now when God gave me the book, it's illegal. It says, "Ervat dodatcha lo tegale dodatchai." You must get divorced. What did Moshe, or whoever you want to call him, gain by making 10% of the nation, or 5% of them, tens of thousands of people, divorce their wife and leave their children? What did he gain by that? Even the cruelest person even Hitler didn't do it to the German people. He made a lot of stupid and tough laws in Germany, but he would not tell people, oh, this is your cousin, you must divorce her. This is this. What did he gain by that? He wanted to do things that he gained something from it. A faker only does for himself. He doesn't do strange things that make people fight him. Now, if I'm a faker, will I write in a book that I'm stuttering? That everyone in the history will know that I had speech problem? Or I would write that I'm perfect? Did you ever see a bad word against JC in the New Testament? Did you ever see one bad word against Muhammad in the Quran? You'll never find. If somebody said one bad word against Muhammad, you're going to play soccer with his head in 1 hour. Who's going to leave him alive? Moshe wrote in the Torah that he's stuttering. Moshe wrote in the Torah that he got punished and did not enter the Holy Land. Moshe wrote in the Torah that his 2 sons were not good enough to take his place. Moshe wrote in the Torah that people fought him and God got angry at him. He wrote a lot of things in the Torah. When a person becomes the king, let's say they accepted Moshe. Fine, they accepted him. When a person becomes a king and people begin to give him money, what is the first thing a politician does when he gets elected? What does he do? He gives all the good jobs to his friends, relatives, children. Everyone is controlling the budget, right? Well, will I put a stranger to control $100 million budget? I'll put my cousin. I'll put my brother. I put my son, like Gaddafi. His sons run the show. Assad, his son run the show. Mubarak, his son run the show. King Hussein, his son is the new King Hussein. Everywhere you go, everywhere in the world, king die, his son takes over. That's history all over. Never otherwise, unless if you didn't have kids, it's a different story. But always, they're even not talented, a lot more smarter people here. He becomes the king, nobody makes a beat. In the lifetime of Saddam, he gave authority, Saddam, to his 2 sons. Assad the same, Mubarak the same, Hussein the same, Gaddafi the same, everyone the same. Why Moshe Rabbeinu gave all the land to all the tribes? The only family that didn't get real estate in Israel, Shevet Levi. You don't get a piece of land. We are your brothers and cousins. For us, you have to give half of Israel and all the rest to the other families. What do we care about them? We are the royal family. What is this? We don't have a land. Shevet Levi didn't give a land. They don't have a land in Israel. They don't have. Every tribe got a land. Shevet Levi live with the murderers in Arei Miklat. Moshe said to his family, don't worry, you'll have a place to live. Where? In the island where we put all the murderers, Ir Miklat. Do you know that Moshe would do such a thing if he was a faker? Here comes the punchline, and then we will start our argument. The bottom line, can I come and convince all of you that you heard me speaking to God if it never happened? How exactly I will do it? Let's say I came here today. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, all of you heard me speaking to God 5 hours ago. You heard the voice of God. You heard what he said. You heard that he made me the king, right? All of you will scream, no. Anybody would say yes if it never happened? Anyone would say yes? How millions of people say yes? When Moshe gave them the Torah, now you may come and tell me, how do you know Moshe gave them the Torah? Maybe somebody planted the Torah and told us a story that never happened. The answer, it cannot be. Do you know why? Because the books say that the people that received the Torah are the same people that came out of Egypt. Not grandparents got the Torah. Same people that saw all the miracles of Egypt, they are the one who heard the voice of God. If the Torah would say, your grandparents received the Torah for me, why don't you follow it? Judaism will collapse. One change in a sentence. God would come to the Jewish nation and say, I'm giving you today the Torah that I gave your grandparents 50 years ago. What would happen? Go and prove now. How do I know? Even though it's true that all parents would not cooperate in one big lie to make a fake event that it never happened. Now, all the grandparents would agree to lie to their children? It's not realistic. But still, I would not be able to come to you and say to you, you heard me speaking to God. I will have to tell you, your grandparents heard me speaking to God. Not me, not you. Then it will not be convincing. So the finish of this argument is, when Moshe approached them and he gave them the Torah, they open now the Torah and they begin to read what happened to them in Egypt. If all the miracles that happened in Egypt did not happen to them, it says, I took you, not your grandparents, I took you out of Egypt and I split the ocean. Yes or no? Everybody scream yes. I give you bread falling from heaven, rain every day. Yes or no? Yes. I drowned the Egyptians in the water. Yes or no? Yes. I did blood and frogs and every firstborn died and hail and all these things that I did in Egypt. Yes or no? Yes. I give you water in the desert? Yes. I protect you in the wars? Yes. You heard my voice speaking from the mountain with Moshe? Yes. If one of the 100 miracles did not happen to them, what do you think would happen? All they had to do to get rid of the Torah and to be secular free, like most of you want to be, all they had to do is to find one mistake in the Torah. One. Then it's not from God. God doesn't make mistake. Now, in case you didn't know, it says in the New Testament that the cave of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov is in the city of Shechem. Nablus. Every fool knows it's in Hebron. It was always in Hebron. Check in the history books. But in the New Testament, they made a mistake. They wrote in the city of Shechem. God makes such mistake? No, end of story. The New Testament, Christianity is not from God. Open the Quran. The Quran say there was a very important meeting between who? Obama and Rouhani. Back in the days, he was Haman and Paro. That's what the Quran say. Haman and Paro had a meeting. There's only one problem. The fool that copied it from the Tanakh thought that the Torah and Megillat Esther is in the same generation because he saw it in the same book. So he didn't know that Haman in Persia was almost 1,000 years after the last Paro died. So Paro and Haman could never had a meeting speaking about building a tower and going to fight against God like the Quran say. Did you know that according to the Quran, who is the uncle of JC? Yoshke. Who is his uncle? According to the Quran. You never believe it. Who? Moshe. Obama. Actually worse than Obama. Who is the uncle of JC? Moshe and Aaron. What does it say in the Quran? Miriam came to the people of her town with her stomach swollen. They knew that she's not married. She's a Virgin Mary. Speaking about Virgin Mary from the New Testament. The people of her town told her, oh, Maria, what did you bring us here? Your father was a righteous man and your mother was not a prostitute. So why you became like that? So she said, don't kill him. Please don't kill my baby. We will have a use for him. And as the story continues, it describes Mariam, in Arabic it's Mariam bat Amram, sister of Moshe and Aaron. They made a mistake between two Miriam. Miriam Neviah, the sister of Moshe and Aaron, 3,400 years ago, to Miriam, the mother of JC. According to the Quran, it's the same woman. Mistake in retarded kindergarten. Not kindergarten, retarded kindergarten. Because in the kindergarten that my son goes to, everybody knows the answer to that. They would not make such a mistake. But for retarded kids, yes. They may make mistakes.
Lots of room for translation. Like, אנחנו אומרים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אז then they say holy power and they say free, right? It just was one translation.
I want to save you time. Once we found one mistake here, let's not waste another minute on it. There's no point. One mistake you find in the Torah, same thing. No different. Find me one mistake after 3,300 years that everybody is dying to find mistake. Nobody ever found mistake in the Torah. I'll make a deal with you. You find me one mistake in the Torah, I'll take you to McDonald's on Yom Kippur and I pay the bill. Here, tell me if you found ever one mistake in the Torah. Now, not only that there's no mistakes in the Torah is a book of instruction. Torah in Hebrew means instruction. Torah means instruction. What book of instruction, 99% of it speaks about the future? I never saw such thing. If the Torah is a history book, it speaks only about the future. If the Torah is a book of law, why does it have to tell me all the future, prophecy, what's going to happen one day? Why? Did you ever see another book with prophecies? Show me one prophecy in a Quran, I'll take you to McDonald's and I pay the bill. Yeah.
More than that, the Chumash is not as important as the Torah Shabbat. The Torah Shabbat dictates what's really in the Chumash.
Very good point, but I was about to get to it. Now, some Jews say, let's make a shortcut. If you brought it up, let's continue from here. Some Jews say, Rabbi, I believe in the Torah. I'm not such a kofir. Come on, I'm Moroccan. My grandfather was in Marrakesh. He was a big chacham. Your grandfather is in heaven, and what's going to be with you, we'll see, Bezrat Hashem. Maybe after tonight you join him in heaven, Bezrat Hashem. But as of now, you're far away from where your grandfather is. So the point is where we're going to end. We're only going to end according to what we did. ראה אנוכי נותן לפניכם היום את החיים ואת הטוב, את המוות ואת הרע, ובחרת בחיים. I've given you the life and the good, the dead and the bad, and you should choose the good, which means you can choose the dead. I'm not interfering with your free choice. But in the end, סוף דבר, הכל נשמע, את האלוקים ירא ואת מצוותיו שמור, כי זה כל האדם. את הכל עתיד השם להביא במשפט. Everyone will be judged, whether you like it or not, whether you're smolani, whether you're a trader, whether you whatever you are, doesn't matter. You can scream, I'm an atheist, I'm a skeptic, I don't believe. You can bark until tomorrow. Do you think anybody cares? When you die, your soul going to stand in a trial, and if you read how horrible is the trial, you wouldn't wait for tomorrow morning to keep Shabbat. You would run already to the synagogue from now and sleep there from now until Shabbat. You wouldn't even go back home, just from fear what's going to be your end. But the problem is that you never learn. So that's why you think, I'm good. Look, I'm not religious, and Hashem gave me a nice house. Look at this chandelier. Here it doesn't. Where is the chandelier, Jeff? Such a nice room with no chandelier. No, okay. Anyway, today, something happened in my other lecture. I was speaking about a story that rabbi and a student was looking for someone else to join the shiur. They didn't know, so they knock on someone's apartment and say, maybe we'll agree. He opened up the door and they told him, would you come? We do shiur Torah. Nobody came today. Come. So he fainted. So they woke him up. He said, come, I want you to see what you just saved me from. He took them to the shower and he saw a rope coming from the ceiling. He was ready to commit suicide. He said, God, if you exist, and if you run the world like the religious people always say, give me a sign not to kill myself. and just before I release the chair under me, you knock on the door. I open the door, you told me, would you come to Shiur Torah? Never happened in my life that someone knock on my door. So when I say that story today, I looked up to the ceiling. Guess what was the first time in my life I was in a Bet Yaakov? Who saw it? A rope from the ceiling. A rope from the ceiling. Rope from the ceiling, like this. Today in Bet Yaakov. Unbelievable. You know? So one time in Brooklyn I was talking about one person that didn't come to the shiur for a year. As I'm speaking about him, he walked in. As I speak about him, he walks in. Like my soul smell him coming. Anyway, let's move on. So the point is, Moshe could not fake a whole nation that they heard the voice of God. Moshe would not make so many laws that people will hate him. Moshe would not make them get divorced. Moshe could not fake 100 miracles and convince them that it happened. The only way that they agree to accept the Torah is because all the things that the Torah speaks about happen to them. Now, here comes my question. The camera just moved. Check that it's okay. Here comes my next question. Who can tell me why he is secular?
Who?
Whoever is secular here, not Shomer Shabbat.
That's it, nobody's secular.
Whoever is not Shomer Shabbat here, please raise your hand and give me your reasons that I can defend the Torah and show that you're wrong. Tell me why. No? That everyone became Shomer Shabbat?
I didn't raise my hand.
Ma, we came here to argue in a nice way.
I came here to listen.
There's no excuse for him now.
Okay, so you're honest to say there's no excuse. Those who has excuse, I want a Chiloni answer, a secular answer, why I should be Chiloni. You ask me why you keep Torah and mitzvot, I have thousands of reasons to give you. I want one answer from one Chiloni, 20 years I'm waiting. Why I'm not keeping Torah and mitzvot.
So when I married my wife, I was secular.
Yeah.
And now I want to go on a certain path, but I don't think she wants to come with me on that path. So I can't really become Shomer Shabbat.
You became or you not?
Not.
Not? Why?
She doesn't want to come with. Halfway.
She can't make you lose things.
You have to bring her, first before you bring her to me, I have a very, very, very strong film about Shabbat. It's all over Israel, it's booming Israel. Many, many hundreds of people already wrote to me that they started to keep Shabbat after they watched it. You only have to do tonight, Michael, Efo Michael? Michael, please give him the Torah and Science DVD and CD number 1. Give this CD number 1 to your wife and ask her to listen to the lecture about Shabbat. Tomorrow evening, she will already keep Shabbat. Give it to him. Yeah. Go ahead. No?
I was going to use that excuse.
Yeah. About the wife.
Yeah.
Adam Arishon used that excuse. It didn't help him. He blamed Chava that she gave him the fruit.
There are rabbis in Israel that, like my uncle is a big rabbi there, and his wife watches TV.
Yeah.
And he said, look, there's nothing I can do. I can't change her right.
So you're right. Sometimes rabbis cannot change their opinion of their wives. What can we
A
do?
lot of guys like that. I was trying to become religious a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and I fell off, right? Lost
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
And I moved more north, and there's no shuls, those are nothing.
Right.
When I was down here, when I
Right.
wake up at 6,
One mistake leads to another.
Yeah.
Moving north.
then I hear people saying the thing about my wife, this, that, but I don't think that's good enough.
Now I want to ask you a question. Tonight everybody here would leave Shomrei Shabbat. Relax. That's what's going to happen in 10 minutes. But before it happens, I sound like Houdini, you know? Houdini. I tell you, one guy came on a commercial in Israel. One guy is a magician. He say, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to break now for commercial. When we come back from the commercial, I'm going to choose a number in my head. And each one of you have to guess my number. No, the opposite. Each one of you will guess a number. Each one of you at home will guess a number, and I will tell you which number you guess. How can it be? One person, you can be right. But thousands of people. I was wondering to myself, I wonder what is he going to say when he comes back from the commercial. When he came back from the commercial, he said, you ready? In 5 seconds from now, I'm going to pick a number. Look at my eyes. No, the opposite. You're going to choose a number. It's very confusing what he said. You're going to choose a number in 5 seconds. When I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, that second you choose a number, and I'm going to tell you what number you chose. And I won't make mistake. I'm saying to myself, I wonder why. Let me choose a number. What number I chose? 23. He said, you ready? 5, 4, 2, 1. Now! 23, I say, in my mind. He said, did you choose number 23? I almost fainted. So, whoa. How did he do such thing? I was shocked, I have to admit. Listen. I said, well, what's the catch here? How did he know? What is this? We have divine prophet in our generation and I didn't know about him? So now he said, let's go to commercial, and when we come back, I'll tell you the trick. I was dying, yalla, enough with this commercial already. Finally, he came back. He said, let me go in slow motion and show you how I tricked you. He reversed the video. See, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When I say now, one person was walking, he's in the middle of the street, and many people walk behind him. You know how the camera in the middle of the street in Tel Aviv. Soon as he say now, one person walk diagonal behind him with a t-shirt of Michael Jordan, number 23. Now remember, when we chose the number, nobody pay attention to that people. There's hundreds of people walk behind him. The second that you chose a number, it was in your subconscious. That second, that's the number that came to your imagination. But you don't know that you saw that number. Only when you show the reverse, you see how I tricked you? All of you chose number 23. So here is an example how he tricked us. But I'm going to tell you now, I'm not going to trick you, I'm going to tell you the truth. Now I'm going to tell you now, I don't want people to complain tomorrow morning and start saying he was too strict, he's fanatic, he's crazy, how can he say such thing? I'm not interested to hear this nonsense. You either trust me or no. You don't trust me, leave. But if you sit here, you be quiet after I finish to talk, because I'm saying to you 1,000,000% the truth. I don't add a word here. Everything I tell you is in the Torah. In case you still don't believe what I say, stop me and I'll prove it to you right now. Right now, before we leave this room tonight. I'll show you where it's written in Judaism. If you don't believe me, if you believe me, let's save time. Let's move on. Now I'm going to tell you something that is going to knock you off your chair in a minute, but I promise you is 1,000,000% what God said. And I'm sure you don't want to go against him, so I'm going to tell you what's your situation right now, that you understand in what deep hole you're in to wake up tonight. If I come to you, I'll tell you a story. One day, a guy came to my lecture, Bukharian barber. Bukharian loves to cut hair.
Eli.
Huh?
Here in Toronto?
Every Bukharian is a barber or selling gold. Relax. You know?
Oh, in Toronto? I know.
Bukharian,
I know him.
they're good with gold, real estate, and cutting hair. So, you know, shh. So this Bukharian, nice, very nice guy, comes to Shiurei Torah. Bemet, sweet. Most of them is wonderful people. Bemet, I deal with them almost 20 years by now. Lots of wonderful people. So what happened is, he came to me and said, I can't be Shomer Shabbat. I really want, but I can't. I said to him, what? He said, I'm going to get fired from my job. My boss doesn't let me take off Shabbat. Shabbat is the busiest day in a barber shop. I said to him, what do you do in Shabbat? He said, about 8, 9, 10 hours I stand and cut hair all day. That's all I do. He said, every day I make about $100. Shabbat, $200, $300. Very busy. I said to him, I have a much better job for you. Why should you kill, you break your back, everything? I have a much better job for you. He said, wow, you have a job for me? Serious? Wow, what is the job? I said to him, I will pay you for 2 hours job, $20,000. I said, what? I'm not lying to you. I will pay you the money. I said, come on, Rav, I know. It's not no time for joking. I said, no, I'm serious. I can give you the money. I can put the money in someone's and he gives you the money. No jokes. Okay, what is the job? I have a list of people that I hate. I'm going to give you the address. I'm going to supply you with a gun, ammunition, everything you need. And I'll tell you where to catch them in a place that you'll never get caught. Don't worry. I know where they come home, 2 o'clock at night. I'll tell you where to hide. From far away, they dead. You come to me, suitcase, 20,000 cash. And I have 300 people in the list. Each one you come and show me picture that is dead, 20,000 cash. Why should you work all day for $100? Misken. You're making 2 hours what you're making a year over there. You say, oh, Rabbi, I look to you like a murderer. Come on. He got offended a little bit. I said to him, I don't understand. What's the problem? Money, it's money. Parnasa, no? You told me you cannot take off on Shabbat because Parnasa, it's important, no? You're afraid to get fired. You're afraid to be poor. Parnasa, it's above everything. Take the job. I won't make you kill on Shabbat. Relax. He said to me, okay, Rabbi, I have to go. I said, wait. Do you think I'm joking with you, right? He said, of course you're joking. I said, no, I'm not joking. You want to swear on a mezuzah. I'm not joking. It's better you do my job than what you do in a barber shop. You're going to get less punishment. I said, what? Less punishment what? I said, you know that every time you go like this with a machine or with a scissor, it's a bigger sin than a murder? He was laughing in my face. Are you normal? You comparing me doing things that I'm not supposed to do on Shabbat to going and kill person? I say, I tell you what. If I'll tell you that one of the people in my list is an innocent baby, look at his innocent, holy face, 3 years old, 2 years old, and I tell you, take his head, drown him in a bath, and I'll pay you 50,000 for his head, not 20. 50,000 cash. You know what? I'm in a good mood, 100,000. Would you do it? Told me in $1 million I wouldn't do it. 10 million I wouldn't do it. What person would do such a thing? I said to him, if I'll prove you right now in the Torah that you already admitted that it's the word of God. You already saw my Torah and science proof. You know that the Torah is only from the creator of the world. Nobody was able to write such book. Nobody. Only the one who created the world. If I'll show you in his book that he say to the Jews that if you break my Shabbat, it's a bigger crime than to murder someone with a bigger punishment. Would you quit your stupid barbershop? He told me, of course. I showed him the punishment in the Torah of Mechalel Shabbat. I showed him the punishment of murderer. I showed him that Mechalel Shabbat mentioned in the Torah 12 times. You should not kill only 3 times. I told him for baby, obviously you cannot drown him. You drown a baby for money? Come on. Anybody, not only a baby. But to light a cigarette, to turn the phone on, to start the car, what's in it? Where is the sin here? Everybody does it. The fact that everyone is a fool and nobody knows the truth of God and they're all ignorant doesn't make it correct or right. Doesn't make it correct. If people drink Diet Coke for 20 years and nobody knew that after 20 years everybody gets cancer. Now the first people, since it came out on the market, Diet Coke, they beginning to get one after the other cancer. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 500,000, 5 million, 50 million, 200 million people with cancer, all of them the same cancer. And now they came and they proved that that cancer is because of Diet Coke. I'm just giving an example. All these 20 years people were drinking Diet Coke thinking they're losing 2 grams from their weight. You know? And in reality, they were getting killed as they enjoy. It's cold, delicious Diet Coke. Sitting on the beach without his shirt, with his big belly, trying to lose 2 grams. And now he just found out that he was actually killing himself. So now, he never knew what he does to himself, but he didn't change the reality. Just because you start your car and nothing happens, and you drive and you make money in your business and you come home for 20 years already, what do you think? You're going to get away with that? Every transaction you do is recorded with time and date, and you're going to get separate punishment for that when the time comes. Nobody can run away from it. Now let me tell you some of the laws of Mechalelei Shabbat. If one of you would choose to be a murderer, but will be Shomer Shabbat, There was one like that in Israel. The head of the mafia, Shomer Shabbat, come to shul with the yarmulke, murdering people, charge protection, put bombs, and he got killed in the middle of Tel Aviv, that somebody put a bomb under his car. The middle of the day, explode his car in Tel Aviv, and the head of the Israeli mafia went to hell while he was Shomer Shabbat. If this monster murderer criminal that makes so many people suffer in his lifetime, if he came to me on Yom Kippur on Kol Nidre, or in Tfilat Ne'ilah, I have 9 people in my minyan, I need 10 more to be able to take Sefer Torah, to do Birkat Kohanim, to do Tfilat Ne'ilah. I need 10 people. Without 10 people, you don't have Tfilah b'minyan. But you must have 10 Shomrei Shabbat. If this monster murderer, Shomer Shabbat, came to my minyan, I can say Kaddish, I can say Chazarat Tfilah, I can take out Torah, I can read Maftir Yonah, I can do Birkat Kohanim, we can cry, we can do Tshuva, thanks to this murderer. Aval is Shomer Shabbat. If any one of you, that I'm sure you're not a murderer, all of you look to me very nice people, all of you behave very nice, and you're traditional, I can see it already. Nobody here hates God. I already know it. I have 20 years experience. I know nobody here hates God. You don't have here Smolanim, you don't have traders here, you don't have anti-religious people who hate rabbis, who hate Torah. None of you would burn the Torah, even if they pay you $1 million. I know all this. But none of you can be mashlim minyan on the Tfilat Ne'ilah on Yom Kippur. I cannot take the Sefer Torah. I'm not allowed to say brachot. If you say bracha, I'm not allowed to answer amen. If you die, we cannot bury you in a Jewish cemetery. We must bury you in a non-Jewish cemetery. Cannot bury you. You have to make a wall. What do you think they do in a Jewish cemetery? They make a wall, Shomrei Shabbat, Mechalelei Shabbat. If one of you come, my daughter wants to get married. I need 2 witnesses to sign on a ketubah. If one of you signed on a ketubah, my daughter will never be married. She has to get remarried. If she has children, this is considered children out of the marriage. She has to get remarried. The kids are not mamzerim, Baruch Hashem, but my sister is not considered to be married. Why? Because one Mechalel Shabbat was a witness. The Torah say, Mechalel Shabbat harehu kegoy lechol davar, is 100% a non-Jew in the eyes of God.
But that's in public, right?
There's no such thing public today.
Between public and private.
I tell you why not. In the old days, if a person wanted to smoke, for instance, a cigarette, he did not dare to do it in public because everyone Shomer Shabbat. So he had to run to the forest or the orchards, smoke, wash his mouth very carefully, come back like nothing happened. Somebody like that is not in public, is embarrassed to do.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't know. So we cannot take actions against him because we don't have any proofs. We can only exclude him from the minyan and all the things that I just mentioned if we have 2 witnesses saw him. Right. But since no witnesses saw him and we used him for the minyan, we did not commit any crime because we never saw him in public doing it. But it doesn't mean that his status in Shamayim is different. Still a goy. He still cannot be buried in a Jewish cemetery.
It can be part of the minyan.
Yes, because we don't know.
Exactly.
No, you don't get the point. If somebody here is a big thief, and I want to make him a partner in my business, what does it mean? Because I made him a partner, he's kosher? No, I just don't know he's a thief.
But that's different.
B'diavad, you had a minyan because you did not make any crime. But if you know it's Mechalel Shabbat, you cannot say brachot, it's bracha levatala. But wait a minute, I didn't even start yet. If a Jew give a loan to another Jew, he's not allowed to charge him interest. If a Jew gave a loan to you, he cannot charge you interest. Excuse me, to you, he can kill you on the interest. Why? The Torah say, Lagoy tashich. And Mechalel Shabbat is 100% goy according to Shulchan Aruch, to the Jewish book of law. It's written in 7 different chapters, not once, 7. Repeated 7 times in case you had a doubt. Mechalel Shabbat, 100% Muhammad, 100% Mr. Lee, 100% Chris, and don't get angry at me, get angry at yourself, not at me, if you're honest. Now, I want to tell you one more thing. Is 100% like a goy if you gave him a loan and you know it's not Shomer Shabbat. If you charge interest from a Shomer Shabbat Jew, it's such a big crime that when Mashiach comes and all the dead people will come back to life, Tchiyat HaMetim, your punishment, you don't get up in the Tchiyat HaMetim, in the resurrection of the dead. Why? Because you charge interest from another Jew. That's all. It's enough to lose day of Mashiach. You won't see David HaMelech, you won't see Rabbi Akiva, you will not see Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? You charge $100 from a Jew interest. Finished. That's the law. But if that Jew was Mechalel Shabbat, you got away with that. It's considered a goy. The Torah says, La goy tashich. You got saved. Now, if one of you want to do tomorrow night Kiddush, you decided to be nice. Jeff, thank you for inviting me for Shabbat. You're going to tell them tomorrow night. No, but tomorrow night you're going to be all Shomrei Shabbat. I'm talking if I wouldn't come here. Last Shabbat. Let's talk about last Shabbat. Tomorrow night you all be Shomrei Shabbat, Bezrat Hashem. Jeff is pouring for you wine now. Here you go, wine in a table. He said, make Kiddush for us. You read Hebrew better than me. No, go ahead. So one of you would get up and say, Yom HaShishi, say the Kiddush of Yom HaShishi. He did not do Kiddush. He must do Kiddush again. Why? Because you consider a goy. Goy that did Kiddush, the Jews that heard him, they're not Yotzei Lidei Chova. They have to do the Kiddush again. Even if he's your father, doesn't matter. Even if he's your brother, doesn't matter. It can be your son. If it's not Shomer Shabbat, and first of all, if he touched the wine, if he took the wine and moved it like that, you must spill the wine. No one is allowed to drink from this wine. Even to the dog, you're not allowed to give it. You must spill it to the garbage. That's the law. I didn't make the laws. Anything I tell you, just raise your hand, and I'll show you right away. I open my iPad in my lecture. First of all, you have my Shabbat lecture. You have all the sources over there in my website, with all the sources on the screen. Rambam, Shulchan Aruch, Zohar, Gemara, whatever you want. So if you hold it, as soon as you move the wine is not kosher. You have to spill it.
I have two questions.
If the wine is cooked, what we call yain mevushal, then it's not considered wine. It's marak anavim. No problem. If Mechalel Shabbat touch the wine, you don't have to spill it if it's mevushal. That's why all religious people that have guests that are not Shomer Shabbat, they buy yain mevushal. Why? Because yain mevushal, if you touch, is no problem. But if it's regular wine that is not cooked, not pasteurized, if you moved it, even if it's a $20,000 bottle, and I held the $20,000 bottle in my hand, if he was Mechalel Shabbat that moved that bottle, he has to spill $20,000 to the garbage. One more thing before you ask your questions. One time I was in San Diego, and I spoke about Shabbat, and one very big businessman, the biggest in San Diego, got up in front of 150 people in a big, nice, big house over there. He said to me, I don't understand what you're saying here. I have only one thing that I can show my children about Judaism is bring them on Shabbat with the car to shul. Because I live 40 minutes ride from the only minyan here of Sfaradim in San Diego. I drive 40 minutes every Shabbat with the kids that they can see the Torah, that they can hear Torah, they can hear the rabbi if you want, can meet Jewish kids. Now you're telling me that by me coming with a car on Shabbat to the shul, I'm actually making a very big crime? So it's better I stay home? I say to him, absolutely. So he says, so my children will never hear Torah, they will never hear, they'll never see holiday, nothing. I say, absolutely. He said, I don't believe it. You're lying, you're liar. Like this, in front of everyone. If I'm not mistaken, this lecture is also on my website. In Hebrew. אתה משקר, לא יכול להיות. It cannot be that that's what God wants. I want to do something for him and he's going to punish for me. It cannot be done. So I told him, let me ask you a question. When Hashem gave us the Torah, did he know the future in the moment that he gave us the Torah? He said, of course, Hashem knows the future. Very good. The Torah is more than 100 proofs that Hashem told people what's going to happen and happen. He knows the future. Okay, so I said, when Hashem gave the Torah, did he know that you and me would stand here in San Diego and argue about Shabbat? He said, yes. Did Hashem know that it's going to be Jews that live so far away from the shul and they have to drive if they want to come? Yes. When he gave the Torah and the laws of Shabbat, he made one exception to the rule only. Only one exception to the rule. What is it? Life risk. Only life risk. Pikuach nefesh, doche Shabbat. Life risk, postpone Shabbat. Meaning, fire in your home, chas v'shalom, there's a baby upstairs, the fire already going on the stairs. There's no way for you to run and get the baby out from the window. You cannot go up without putting the fire off. You take the thing, you put the fire off, you go upstairs, make sure the baby is not choked. No sin. Why? The Torah says, life risk, you're allowed to put Shabbat on hold. Your wife needs to give birth. Friday, midnight. Jeff, Mazal Tov. The time arrived. Not you, relax. Mazal Tov. Mazal Tov. I think it's happening now. Oh, on Shabbat. Oh, Tov. Call Atzala. Or get your car. You get the car, you take your wife to the hospital. Why? What are you going to do? You're going to stuck her in a house and you want to have to give birth and the baby will die? You need somebody professional to deliver her. Pikuach nefesh doche Shabbat. I say to him, if it was so important for Hashem that all Jews would gather together no matter what and pray together on Shabbat, he would write in the Torah 2 exceptions to the rules. Pikuach nefesh and tefillah betzibur dochim Shabbat. That's it. And solve all the problem. To get to the shul allowed, to go back from the shul home allowed, the rest not allowed to drive. But to come to shul allowed. But he never allow it. So you see that Hashem didn't care so much about tefillah betzibur. Shabbat is much more important. He looked at me, said, very good. You prove your point. He sat down. Then I say to him something else. I say to him, listen carefully. If a person has a beautiful mansion, what's the most expensive house in the world? $200 million. $200 million in the United States. A big mansion. I even saw a picture from it. $200 million. It looked like a whole town with parks, lots of land, house for the servant, seat there, basketball court, anything you want, you have over there. I said to him, if you bought that house, and on the $200 million home, you put Picasso picture by another $100 million. And then you put antique Persian rugs all over by another $100 million. You already $400 million invested in a house. And inside the house, you put $100 million in cash, hidden in the walls. Like the big drug dealers, the whole homes is hidden with stacks of cash. So you are already $500 million in the house. And on top of that, you have watches, not like mine, $50. Each watch, $50,000, collection. Your wife, all kinds of jewelry, another few $1 million. Diamonds, antique books, $600 million in your mansion. The candle fell on the floor, the rug caught fire, no kids in the house, just you and your wife, and you close to the door, and the fire is going to burn the entire mansion. $600 million will get burned in 1 or 2 or 5 minutes. How quick in America houses go on fire? You're not allowed to put the fire off. You have to let your $600 million property get burned, and not to dare 1 second to put the fire off. Why? Because it's worse than murder, to be Mechalel Shabbat. And murder doesn't justify to save $600 million.
You have insurance. Don't worry about it.
Insurance, I'm not worried about insurance. Assume you don't have insurance. Yes, now let's start with questions. Go ahead.
I don't understand how a comparison of a murder can be counted into a minyan and somebody who's not...
Murderer that keeps Shabbat only, not murderer that Mechalel Shabbat.
He keeps Shabbat, but he kills 10 people every week.
I want to ask you a question. You heard about Bernard Madoff?
Yes.
He stole $60 billion. Do you know how many hundreds of families lost everything they have? Some of them killed themselves. Some of them lost their homes. Some of them closed their yeshivot. He made a very, very big disaster. Now he still owes $60 billion. He did not pay it back. So as long as he did not pay it back, he's a complete criminal. If now he started to keep Shabbat in jail, and we all in the same jail with him, we can count him as minyan. Now you and I understand that Bernard Madoff, by stealing $60 billion from mostly Jewish people, and many of them religious, and rabbis, and yeshivot, and orphans, and what you cannot even imagine the damage he made. You and I understand that someone who lights a cigarette is nothing compared to this criminal. I mean, come on. If I have to choose my roommate in jail, I would rather the guy who smoke or the guy that lights the electric on Shabbat than someone who made so many miserable people kill themselves, right? But we don't care what we think. We only stick to what Hashem thinks. And Hashem say like this, Shabbat, I'm going to read to you what the Torah say, and then you understand the logic. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אות היא לעולם. כי 6 ימים עשה השם את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. Translation. And the nation of Israel observed the Sabbath to make the Sabbath for generation an eternal covenant. What does it mean, eternal? 1 billion years, it's not even the first second of eternal. Do you know eternity means it never ends, never. The covenant, what makes the Jews Jewish is Shabbat. Mechalel Shabbat, you break the foundation of Judaism. By breaking Shabbat, you're a goy. You're a murderer, you're a criminal Jew. You are made of, you're a criminal Jew. You made the worst sins, you're a criminal Jew. You mechalel Shabbat, you're a goy. You're not a Jew. That's what Hashem say. Why? I'll tell you why. Because what does it mean, Judaism? A Jew job in a creation is to do Kiddush Hashem, to sanctify the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world. How do you make the whole world learn about Hashem? You behave like Hashem. Kedoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani. I did not create anything in the 6th day. You will not create anything in a 7th day. Which means I rested in a 7th day, you will rest in a 7th day. The whole world will come and ask you, hey, Itzik, why you don't light fire today? Because on the 7th day, Hashem did not create anything. I am a son of God. He is a son of God. He is a son of God. She is a daughter of God. We all representative of the great God. By breaking Shabbat, we go against 12 sentences in the Torah. That someone that broke Shabbat, mechalel Shabbat, mot yumat, will die in this world, will put to death by stoning in a Jewish court of law, when Sanhedrin existed in the time of Bet HaMikdash, and will be put to death in the next eternal world. Mot ba'olam hazeh, yumat la'olam haba, venichreta הנפש ההיא מישראל. And I'm gonna cut that soul out of the nation of Israel for eternity. I'm gonna cut the soul, not the body. The body die anyway, one way or the other. That's not the tragedy here. venichreta הנפש. The price that you're gonna pay for continuing to be Mechalel Shabbat, words cannot describe. If you think Auschwitz was the worst happened in our world, Auschwitz, it's a picnic compared to the punishment of the Jews who are Mechalel Shabbat. If you read in a Zohar what happened to them in hell when they die for breaking, to go and rebelling against Hashem, you'll go crazy. You'll kill yourself. So what a fool I am. For driving to the supermarket or to the laundromat, I'm going to lose eternity in heaven with all the tzaddikim and the greatness of Hashem. I'm going to lose everything for smoking, for talking on the phone, for playing on a computer, for one stupid day, I'm going to lose everything. I want to tell you one thing, and I'm standing behind what I say, and I'm willing to hold the Torah and swear on it. If I was allowed, I would do it with no hesitation. All the secular Jews that are not Shomrei Shabbat, 99% of them is not because they're evil, not because they trader, not because they hate God, not because they don't appreciate Hashem. No. Only because they have no idea whatsoever what are they doing. They never know what Shabbat is. I tell you something. I was in a seminar in Los Angeles. You know Rabbi Mizrachi from Israel? He's a famous rabbi in Israel, very popular. He's a good friend of mine. We did about 4 or 5 seminars together in New York and Los Angeles. One time we're making a seminar in a Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. Shabbat afternoon, Saturday around 4, 5 o'clock, we're sitting and eating Seudah Shlishit in a hotel. I have to give a lecture about Shabbat in English, and he has to give a lecture about Shabbat in Hebrew. Seminar, 500 people. I'm in one room and he's in another room. English and Hebrew. I say to him, Rabbi Yitzchak, can I give you an advice? He said to him, yes. I say, you know, you're very charming, charismatic, funny, you have a beautiful story. You pass the message brilliantly. But there's one thing I want you to say today, to add to your lecture. I know they present the lecture in a very soft way, not like me. Strict to the point, no wasting time, no sugar coating. Almost all the speakers in the world, they never tell you the truth of the Torah because they're afraid of your reaction. Most of the time they do it because they're afraid to get fired from the shuls. They get a salary from the board. If they're going to tell the people of the shul that they come with a car, they'll fire them the next day. But I don't work for anybody, only for Hashem. I don't charge for my lecture. Nobody gives me orders. Nobody paying me salary. No, I don't have a board. No rabbi can tell me what to do, not to do. I do exactly what the Torah say. So you can get angry at me. You can kick me out of your home. You can say whatever you want. But I told you the truth, and the rest doesn't matter. I already told you the truth. There's no return. Once you know the truth, you must stick to the truth. But I want to tell you what happened in that seminar. And you can call Rabbi Fanger and you can ask him if it happened or not. This is what happened. I told him, 2 things I want you to say in your lecture. The rest, say whatever you want to say. I don't care. 2 things I want you to say. He looks at me and he's very, very nice character. It's not the aggressive kind. Strict, that talks about punishment. You never hear him in his lecture talking about Gehenom, punishment, price to pay. They're very, very politically correct over there. So he said to me, what do you want me to say? I say, I want you to say 2 things to these secular people here in the lecture. I say, what? I say, I want you to tell them that Mechalel Shabbat, according to the Torah, is worse than a murderer. That's what God said. And the second thing, I want them to know that Mechalel Shabbat is 100% a goy, and when he dies, he has no share to the world to come. He loses eternity. He looks at me. Now, if he did tshuva fix everything.
There's teshuva, there's hope.
Tshuva can fix everything. We didn't get to the tshuva yet. That's the cherry on the icing. Wait. No, you don't know the rest of the Mishnah. You only read half of it.
Yeah.
Did you ever read the whole Mishnah in Masechet Sanhedrin? It was cut on purpose. And those are the Jews who have no share to the world to come. There's a whole list.
Yeah, those are very extreme cases.
No extreme at all. All you have to say, I don't believe in the resurrection of the dead. I don't believe Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the whole Torah. I don't believe Mashiach would come. I don't believe that Hashem gave the Torah. I think the rabbis made it. Or you make sins in public. Sins in public is extreme. Every Chiloni makes millions of sins a year in public. Okay, bottom line, nobody is hiding today when he's Mechalel Shabbat. Almost nobody.
Go in your garage, smoke a cigarette, nobody sees you.
You still lost your share to the world to come.
There's no
Hashem saw you. The only difference is, the only difference is that Hashem, the Jewish court cannot execute you because there's no 2 witnesses to testify that you Mechalel Shabbat. But when you die, the Torah already say, I'm cutting that soul out of eternity. Whether he hid, whether he did it in the public, no nafkamina. So I say to Rabbi Fanger,
1 second. Yeah, I had like 2 questions.
Go ahead.
I was holding on to them.
Go ahead.
Talking about the guy who was holding on to his glass of wine. Let's say somebody's at my table and calls Shabbat. I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows.
The wine is kosher.
The wine's kosher. Like just the same way that if that was the 9th person in the minyan's kosher.
Yes. If you have no way to know, you're not guilty.
And now if he tells me he's mechal Shabbat.
You're not allowed to touch the wine that second.
But there's no edim.
You don't need edim. Oda'at ba'al din kemea edim dami. No. Not in this case. Oda'at ba'al din kemea edim dami. Sometimes a person has incentive to make himself look rasha. That's certain cases. For instance, if a woman wants to get rid of her husband, and he doesn't give her a get. So she comes and say, I got raped. And her husband is a Kohen. I got raped by a goy. How do you know he's a goy? He was Chinese. Now, he's not allowed to be with her after that, even though it was rape.
If a woman says that my son is your mom's, you're not a believer.
Right. I'm telling you for the same thing. For that, there's particular things that you don't take the testimony of people because they have incentive to lie. But that's not the case here. Someone tell you on the table, I'm Mechalel Shabbat. What reason he has to make himself look like a goy that you're going to spill the wine to the garbage? Well, why would he embarrass himself? The answer is, you know he's Mechalel Shabbat. But wait, let me finish the story. I want to finish the story. So he looked at me when I told him to say those things that like I'm out of my mind. Looks at me like that. So how can I say such a thing? In Israel, we are not allowed to even say the word punishment. You want me to say that they're worse than a murderer and is like a goy? How can I say such a thing? I said to him, first, you're not in Israel. Second, it's Shabbat, there's no camera. Third, if somebody here would complain, blame me. I take full responsibility. Say that I forced you to do it. What do you care? Nobody will know. It's you and them. Hey, you go back to Israel, nobody knows. I want you to see the difference. Thinking. Believe me, it wasn't easy for him. It was not easy for him. He said, okay, I'll try. I went to my place, he went to his place. Here we meet again, Melav and Malka. Shabbat, 10 o'clock at night. Shabbat finished, we have Seudah Revi'it. Me and him sitting on a table eating Seudah Revi'it. They give the microphone to the people of the seminar. Somebody play music, beautiful event. Everybody say a few things on the microphone. Beautiful seminar. I'm so glad I came. Thank you to Rabbi A. Thank you to Rabbi B. You know, the regular stuff. Then one guy, builder, Ezra Levy his name. Los Angeles, live in a valley. He gets up. He's 2 years Baal Tshuva. He's building big mansions in Los Angeles. He got up. He said, my wife wants to say something. His wife, fancy Moroccan woman, dressed very, very classy, tons of jewelry on her. You can see, like the women on a magazine. She gets up. She said, I want to say something. My husband became religious 2 years ago. All the seminars and the lectures that he participated in, I also went. Together. My father is religious all his life from Morocco. Between my husband and my father every week, my wife, Shabbat, my daughter, Shabbat, my wife, Shabbat, my daughter, Shabbat, for all 2 years, begging me to be Shomer Shabbat. Every Shabbat I start my car, I meet my friends, we go, we have fun, My husband keeps Shabbat alone, he goes to shul, he comes home, he has his own food. I don't interfere with him, I do whatever I want. But I want to say now that I'm accepting on myself to be fully Shomer Shabbat. 2 things Rabbi Fanger said in his lecture now that shocked me so much. If I knew that, believe me, a long time ago I would become Shomer Shabbat. The 2 things that I told him, she repeated. Now he's sitting with me in a table and it's recorded. I cannot make stories. I won't ruin my reputation after 20 years telling you stories with names and dates. You can go and ask him. He looks at me in a table, he holds his head like this. Like this. I said, wow. Ize siyata dishmaya yesh lecha. What kind of siyata dishmaya you have? I can't believe it. I said to him, it's not about me, b'chalal. This is what the Torah says. Le'ahava ule'ira et Hashem. What do you think? Is your friend? I have an obligation to love me. You have an obligation to fear me. I'm not your friend from college. What do you think? I'm giving you life. I put your soul in your body, and you're going to return me that soul, and I'm going to judge you for what you did against me. I'm not giving you free oxygen. I'm not giving you a free home. I'm not giving you millions of dollars for nothing. I'm not giving you eyesight and ability to walk, and I make 1 million miracles a day in your body for you to function, for you to smoke for me on Shabbat and to spit at me, and to be pro-gay, and to marry Christine, and to fight the rabbi, and to speak all day Lashon Hara, and to steal. For that I'm giving you oxygen. Everything you will do against me, I will pay you back.
Hashem knew this before you were born. He knew what you were going to do before. He's created you anyways.
Let me ask you a question. You see, if you would think before, you wouldn't ask me this question.
Okay.
I tell you why.
Tell me why.
If Hashem already knew everything, why even bother give us Torah?
Why?
Why? If everything is decided before we...
You're going to come around eventually.
No. Let me tell you something. If Hashem already know, you are trying to say that we don't have a free choice. Because Hashem already knew the end. CD number 1...
Basic.
Wait. CD number 1, I made a whole lecture. It's called free choice. Listen to it. Now, one thing I want to tell you. If I read in the Torah a few times, choose the good. Be careful not to do bad. Choose. What does it mean? That I'm a robot or I'm choosing? If Hashem say choose, and if you won't choose, I'm going to cut you out of life of eternity. Be careful not to go against my instruction. Be careful not to steal. Be careful not to lie. Be careful not to do this. What do you mean? I'm a robot. You're moving me with remote control. Why are you giving me instructions if I'm a robot? You can give instruction to your robot that you move left and right. Don't move to the right. You press right, he goes to the right. I'm warning you. Don't go to the right. I'm going to break your head.
If you don't accept my Torah, I'm going to drop a mountain on you?
Yes, that's only after they signed and they backed up. Read in the Gemara. They say, Na'aseh v'nishma. Everything Hashem say we'll do and then we'll understand. Minute later, they regret. Hashem said, too late. We already made the agreement. Kafa aleim ha'ar kigigit. Say, if you're not going to continue with your promise, here you're going to get buried alive. Read in the Gemara. Kafa aleim ha'ar kigigit. Yes.
אמרת לפני זה על אפילו תלמיד חכם, נכון? שיודע את כל התורה ושומר על התורה, שומר שבת, אבל אם אין לו דרך ארץ, הוא כמו...
I got your question. הבנתי את השאלה. He asked, what's more important, to keep mitzvot between you and Hashem, or to have manners with your friend, derech eretz? The answer is, let me ask you a question. What's worse, to be a murderer or a rapist? מה יותר גרוע, להיות רוצח או אנס? חזק וברוך, you answer my question. זה נבלה וזה טרפה. To be a person that not שומר Shabbat, stealing, speaking Lashon Hara, doing all kinds of things against Hashem, it's very bad. But to offend people, to make them miserable, to steal from them, to speak bad about them, to ruin their life, to make fights between husband and wife, to be selfish, גם זה very bad. But I want to tell you something. Nowhere in the Torah you will find that someone that doesn't have manners get death penalty. Not in this world and not in the next world. Nowhere in the Torah it say that if you a liar, put him to death. If you a thief, put him to death. If you insult people, put him to death. If you throw garbage on the street, put him to death. No. The Torah says, you mechalel Shabbat, put him to death. He's a gay, put him to death. He's an idol worshipper, he bowed down to idols, put him to die. Things between you and Hashem, death penalty. Things between you and your friends, no death penalty. So which one is worse? You know that if you go to the Israeli court in Tel Aviv, and you come to room number 1, and you see the police take the person with handcuffs out. You see the judge just left. You ask him, excuse me, what punishment you got? He's saying 1 year in prison. What crime did you make? The police already pushed him in a car and went. You don't know what crime he made. You run to the next room, you see another guy with handcuffs. You see the judge left, You say, excuse me, how many years you got? He say 30 years in prison. What crime did you make? He didn't answer. They push him in a car. Now somebody comes to you and says, sir, we want to ask you a question. Which one of the two criminals is a bigger criminal? Room number 1 or room number 2? Room number 1, 1 year in prison. Room number 2, 30 years in prison.
Depends which lawyer you have.
No. Bli lawyer. No lawyers. Room number 1, room number 2. Which one is a bigger criminal?
Logically, it's the 30-year one.
30 years.
You put your money on the second room, right? Why is it? Because of the punishment. The punishment show how horrible is the sin, right? If your friend stole $1 from your pocket, you will be still his friend. I can't believe you're doing it. You're stupid. How do you do such thing? Hey, come on, give me a break. I was short $1. You were not around. I couldn't ask you. Big deal. I only took $1. No, you say, you know what? It's not the end of the world. It's still a crime, but if you stole $1 million from your bank account, you still be his friend? Why? It's a much bigger crime, no? Bigger crime, bigger punishments. The worst punishment in the Torah, Chilul Shabbat.
So there's no really logic why Chilul Shabbat.
There is a lot of logic. There is a lot of logic. I give you oxygen, I give you money, I give you brain, I give you health, I give you wife, I give you children, I give you everything you wanted. And I only ask you one day, be like me, be holy. Be with your wife and children, sing in the table, eat well, go to rest, come to shul to talk to me a little bit, learn Torah with your children, go take a walk in the park. And for that, I'm going to give you eternity of pleasure. What is the pleasure in Olam Haba? If you take all the pleasure of all the people, of all the generation combined, it's not equal to 1 hour of the reward of one righteous Jew in the next world. All the people from the creation of the world, billions of people, money, vacation, jewelry, women, whatever you want, sport, food, everything combined of billions of people multiplied by 70 or 80 years of life. Everything together on a scale, 1 hour of one Jewish tzaddik that keep mitzvot on the other side of the scale, the Jew gets more pleasure in 1 hour than all these people combined. Where does it say it in the Torah? Words cannot describe the pleasure. Think about the biggest pleasure you ever had in this world. Think about the biggest pleasure you ever had. Some people, it's food. Some people, it's reading. Some people, sport. Some people, honor. Some people, women, relationship. Everyone has something that he loves the most. His eyes comes out when he has it. He'll kill for it. Think that biggest pleasure you ever had, the happiest day when it comes to pleasure in your life. Multiply it by 1 billion. Now multiply it by 100 billion. Now multiply it by 100 trillion. Now multiply it by 100 and billions and trillions and quadrillions of pleasure will not be equal to 1 hour of your pleasure in the next world. Where does it say it in the Torah? And all of that you're going to lose for being dumb and driving the car and turning the television on. And don't say I didn't warn you. And if you still don't believe me, come to me, I'll show it to you in the Torah. Where does it say what I just say? That 1 hour of a tzaddik is greater than this everybody together in this world. יפה שעה אחת של קורת רוח בעולם הבא מכל חיי העולם הזה. And this entire world, from day one until the end of time, all the pleasure of this whole world, 1 hour in the next world, if you're going to get there, greater than this whole world. You know, somebody asked one time, Rabbi, let me ask you a question. Why the reward of Hashem is to the next world? Why he can't pay us in this world also? I mean, he gives us in this world a little bit here, up front, but why I do mitzvah, he doesn't give me the next day $1 million. I do another 5 mitzvot, 5 million. Why not? I want this. What do you want? You want to marry. Who do you want to marry? This woman. She's yours. You just put tefillin, she's yours. I eat kosher now, a beautiful, smart kid. What else you did today? I gave $1,000 to a poor person. Here, another 5 million to your account. What else do I like that house? Okay, keep one Shabbat, the house is yours. Life would be great. People who make sins, execution from Shamayim, a rock fall on their head. People that do mitzvot, one life is wonderful. Now I'll tell you a story, and maybe we'll finish by here. In the time that Bet HaMikdash was destroyed, the first one, the king was Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel, king of Babylon. One time, Nebuchadnezzar, he had a dream to destroy Bet HaMikdash. In the time Nebuchadnezzar, the prophet in Yerushalayim, the prophet in Israel, was Yeshaya, prophet Yeshaya. Who was the king? King Chizkiyahu. King Chizkiyahu. Prophet Yeshaya, Hashem say to him, go say to King Chizkiyahu that he has to prepare to die. But he was a very big tzaddik, very big tzaddik. In his day, King Chizkiyahu, every kid 6 years old knew the whole Torah. Why? He took a sword and he said in his speech, everybody here that will get caught not learning Torah will be put to death. Don't mess with me. Everyone was afraid. Everyone learned Torah non-stop. Everyone became big rabbis in a young age. Somebody like that deserve heaven or deserve to die young? It's a big tzaddik, no? He make everyone shomer Shabbat. Everyone learn Torah. Hashem said to the Navi, tell him he has to die. He asked, why I have to die? He said, because you're not getting married. You don't get married. He said, but Hashem knows that I'm dying to get married. It's very hard for me without a woman. I'm a king, everyone wants me, and I cannot get married. Why? Because I see in a prophecy that I'm going to have Ben Rasha, that my son will be a very big Rasha that will put idols in Israel. I don't want to bring such a son to the world. I suffer all my life and I don't have bad kid like that. So he told him, you have a good point, but the Torah say everybody must get married and have children, boy and a girl minimum. Even if he knows that they're not going to be such big tzaddikim. Doesn't matter, you must do this. The first mitzvah in the Torah. You should not mix your own opinion with Hashem orders. Hashem order everyone to have kids. Everyone. Even ugly people have to have kids that will be ugly like them. It's no problem. The ugliest guy, the ugliest woman say, why you don't have kids? We don't want to bring few chimpanzees to the world. It's enough how much we suffer. They're making a sin. Hey, but everyone's going to make fun of them. I don't want. 2 midgets. Midget and midget. איך אומרים midget female? Midgita. Really? No. You made it up. 2 midgets. They say, what's the point of having a kid? He's also going to be 2 feet like Paro. We don't want. It's not your problem. You have to have pruvu. So, he said, Chatati, aviti, pashati. I made a mistake. Give me your daughter. Pray to Hashem to give me time to get married and to have children. I'm going to do tshuva. Right away, he turned to the wall and started to pray with tears. Prophet Yeshaya went to Hashem, started to talk to Hashem. He said, tell me what to do. Hashem said to him, tell him that I'm giving him 15 more years of life to be enough to get married and have children. He came to the prophet, he said, give me your daughter to be my ukala. He agreed. He married the daughter of Prophet Yeshaya. Then he had a son, Menashe, very big Rasha. 60 years he's a king, everybody worship idols that he put. Open discotheque, restaurant, shrimps, gay parades, everything that they do today, he did. But his father was the chief rabbi of Israel, the king. Big tzaddik, Yitzchak and Esav. Okay. The prophet, the King Chizkiyahu said to the prophet, how do I know you're not lying to me to make me feel good? Give me a sign. He told him, today you see the sun? Instead of 7 p.m., the sun will stay a few more hours in the sky. It will be still light 10 o'clock tonight. The sun and the earth will not move. This is the word, the fourth time in history that it happened. That's one of them. In the meantime, in Iraq, in Babel, Nebuchadnezzar looked up to the sky. You see what's going on today, that it doesn't become night. Everyone was shocked. One of them say, go to the Jews, they probably know. Send somebody to the Bet HaMikdash of the Jews, they'll tell you why. So the king Nebuchadnezzar got up, he was also a midget. He got up from his chair and he wrote, to the people, to the king of Israel, to the people of Jerusalem, to the people of Israel and to their God. Please explain to me why on this day there was no sunset on time. He got up from his chair. The messenger took it from him while he was still sitting. He gave him the note. The messenger got on a horse. He has to go now to Israel on a horse for a week. He got up, he said, wait. He got up from his chair, he made 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. He took the note from him and he fixed it. He said, it's not fair, I put their God in the end. To the God of the Jews, to the King of the Jews, to the people of Jerusalem, and to the people of Israel. He took God from the end and put him in the beginning. That's all he did in his life that was good. Everything else about him, exactly Adolf Hitler. Killed millions of Jews, destroyed Bet HaMikdash, made the Jews slaves, charged them high taxes. Worse in the history. Big Rasha, Nebuchadnezzar, Imach Shimo V'zichro.
Crushed his grandfather.
Guess what happened? Because of 3 steps that he made to give respect to Hashem, the reward that Hashem gave this Hitler monster, Imach Shimo, he was a king 45 years. His son was a king 23 years. And his grandson was a king for 2 years. 70 years of kingdom for 3 steps that Adolf Hitler, Imach Shimo Nebuchadnezzar, got up from his chair and make 3 steps to give kavod to Hashem. 70 years he owned the whole world. Not like Obama, only owned Harlem and Philadelphia. He owned the whole world. He thinks he owned Obama in his dreams. He owned the whole world. Everybody paid him taxes. Army all over the world. And what happened in the end? 70 years of control for 3 steps. Chachamim come and tell you, Chazal, come and learn Mr. Jew, Itzik and Avi and David and Moshe and Shlomi. Open up your eyes and don't be dumb. If this Hitler, Imach Shimo V'zichro, that made only 3 steps once in his life to give respect to Hashem, how much a kosher Jew that walk for an hour or half an hour on Shabbat to shul, if every 3 steps Hashem have to give him 70 years of control all over the world. But he went 3,000 steps, not 3 steps. 3,000! And he's 1,000,000 times better than this Hitler. He's a son of God, that he loves him. He's a grandson of David HaMelech. Hashem loves him a lot better, Itzik and Shlomi and Avi, than this monster. If this monster got such a reward for 3 steps to give respect to Hashem, how much for 1 mitzvah that a Jew does Hashem owe him? More than this entire world. It won't be enough to pay you for 1 time you walk to shul on Shabbat. That's why the reward, the sachar, is 99.9%, everything to Olam Haba. There's no way to pay you here. If Hashem owe you the whole world, and you owe him the whole world, and you owe him, and every one of us has to get the whole world, how many worlds in Hashem has to give to every one of us? It's impossible. From here you learn that all the reward is for the next world. Hayom la'asotam u'machar lekabel scharam. Where does it say in the Torah that if you are a tzaddik, Hashem is waiting with your reward, but if you are a rasha, Hashem pays you a little bit right away to get rid of you? Where does it say it in the Torah? The last 3 verses of Parashat Vayetchanan, last 3 psukim, Hashem say, Ani Hashem, Ha'el ha'ne'eman, shomer habrit, I am the God, the faithful God that keep my covenant. Le'ohavai, le'shomrei mitzvotai, le'elef dor. To those who love me, that keep my mitzvot. How do you know if you love me? You don't kiss the mezuzah. You can kiss the mezuzah until tomorrow. Yair Lapid also kissed the mezuzah. In my own eyes I saw. So what? It's going to bring him to heaven because he goes like this and the next day he burns the yeshivot? No, no, no. You love me? Le'ohavai le'shomrei mitzvotai. You keep my mitzvot. That's a sign that you love me. You listen to me. You don't just kiss me. Kisses I have plenty. I don't need. Actions I want. And what about the Reshaim? U'meshalem le'sonai el panav la'avido. לא האחר לשלם לו, אל פניו אשלם לו לעבידו. Translation. And I pay my haters, who does not keep my mitzvot. Itzik, Avi, David, nice boys. My haters. Chas v'shalom, Hashem, how do you say? I hate you? God forbid. Before I come to play on Shabbat in Jerusalem, I put Sefer Tehillim in my shoes. When I made a goal on Shabbat, I scream, Yesh Elokim. Why is I hate you? Right? When I married Christine, I told her, don't give me pork. Why is I hate you? The answer is, Hashem said, not me. And those who hate me and do not keep my mitzvot, I pay them cash to their face for the little good that they did in this world to get rid of them. I will not delay their payment for later. Right away I'll pay you in this world to finish with you, because you don't have a next world. So I have to pay you in this temporary world and finish with you. No share to the world to come. Lo האחר לשלם לו. Those who I love, I delay their payment because it's eternal. What's the rush?
Hashem is bound by his own rules.
100%. You know, one person told me, you know this famous question that the Chilonim ask in Israel? He told me, Rabbi, I have a question that you don't have an answer. I'm telling you already you don't have an answer. I say, Baruch Hashem, let's hear it. He say in Hebrew, תגיד, השם יכול לברוא אבן שהוא לא יכול להרים אותה? I'm sure you heard that, no? Can God create a rock that he cannot pick it up? That's a very tricky question. It sounds like a joke, but it's a very clever question. Why? Because whatever you answer, you fall. It's a catch-22. Why? If you say, of course Hashem can create such a rock. Hashem cannot create a rock? Oh, you see, Hashem cannot pick up the rock. What kind of God is this? He can't pick up a rock. You want me to count on him? If you say Hashem cannot create such a rock because Hashem can pick up any rock. Oh, you see? Hashem cannot create a rock. You want me to listen to him? Baruch Hashem. You see how I got rid of the rabbi in 2 minutes? That's how he thought, at least. But when he got the answer, he remembered me until today for sure. I told him, let me ask you a question. If I am the judge in a court in Israel, and I saw there's so many accidents, I made a new rule. I call all the judges. I said, friends, from now on, everybody who goes more than 120 kilometers per hour, you seize his car, you put him 30 days in prison, and $10,000 fine before you even talk to him about coming out of prison, before we even hear why he was in a rush. New rule. I don't want people go crazy on the highway. All the judges say, yes, sir, because I'm the head of the committee. And 3 days later, I'm sitting in court, they bring my foolish son. What are you doing here? He said, I drove very fast. How fast? 125. Oh no, you fool. I made a law that more than 120, I have to put you in prison and $10,000 fine, which I have to pay now. Now let me ask you a question. Will I put him in prison or I let him go free? If I put him in prison, everybody say, what kind of judge is this? He doesn't have mercy on his own son. He can be judge of strangers. He doesn't have mercy on his own son. If I let him go, everybody say, what kind of judge he is? He's strict with other people, but with his own son, the law does not apply? So let me explain to you something. In the day that Hashem gave us the Torah, he chose to limit himself. Once he signed on a check, once you write a check and you sign, and you give it to the person's hand, from the minute he received the check, that's it. I limit my hands. I have $5,000 in my bank account. I just wrote you 4,900. Meaning I cannot use my account.
Only in this world, though, right?
No. Once I'm saying to you, I gave you the check. From the minute you receive the check from me, or the cash, that's I cannot use my account. Finished. What made me unable to use my account? I have any limitation? No. I can grab back the chair, and the chair cannot give you anything. But once I say I'm the God of the justice, that do not receive any bribe, nobody can get anything unless if he deserves it, I must keep my law. Because if when tomorrow my son come and smile to me, Abba, have mercy on me. Okay, let him go. He's my son. Let him go. He's a fool. Let him go. From that moment on, I cannot be called a fair judge. If Hashem will take Mechalel Shabbat and send him and give him Olam Haba, all the Torah will be dismissed immediately and will not be true anymore. It will be the first mistake in the Torah, and Judaism will be cancelled. Why? Because Hashem say, I promise reward to the righteous people is one of the 13 principles of Judaism. One of the foundation. Hashem meshalem sachar tov latzadikim uma'anish laresha'im. If Tommy Lapid and Rav Ovadia Yosef, להבדיל מיליון אלפי הבדלות, will sit together in heaven, all the Torah became toilet paper in a minute. No more emet, no more Hashem, everything is a lie, we cannot rely on Hashem because He lied to us. That's why it will never happen. So if you think you're going to get saved by smiling to Hashem and say that your grandfather in Morocco was a rabbi, it's only going to make a situation worse. So your grandfather was a rabbi and you marry Christine and you date her, you smoke drugs, you be Mechalel Shabbat, you steal, you...
His grandfather in Morocco was a rabbi. How is that possible?
Everyone was a rabbi 200 years ago. Well, you know, Moroccan, by the way, from all the Sephardi countries, there are more rabbis in Morocco than any other nationality in the history of Am Yisrael. Only the Ashkenazim had more rabbis than the Moroccan. But among the Sfaradim, Syrian, Persian, Iraq also had a lot of Chachamim. I'm not talking in the time of the Talmud. Time of the Talmud, the Tanaim were all in Iraq and Iran, Persia. The Talmud was signed in Iran, in Persia, Rav Ashi and Ravina. Most of the Chachamim live in Iraq, in Bavel, but it's close, Iraq and Iran. But I'm talking in the last 1,000 years. From the Rif, Rav El-Fassi, which was Moroccan, from Fas, and Rambam, and all the other ones. The last 1,000 years, more Moroccan rabbis than anybody else. Also many Iraqis were big Chachamim. There are many, Ben Ishchai and Mutzafi and Raftaya. There's a lot of Chachamim in Iraq, almost as much. But in other places, Bulgaria, Greece, Iran, Lebanon, all these places, there was hardly any Talmidei Chachamim. So you, as most of you Moroccans here, living here in Toronto, and I was in Montreal, the same story. People that were students of Rabbi Baruch Toledano, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, was sitting with me in a table. When I had a Shabbaton in Montreal with 500 people there, on Shabbat in a big shul. And one that was learning every day by Rabbi Baruch Toledano, telling me story with tears in his eyes, how the tzaddik was collecting the Moroccan on the neighborhood, and all of them were coming to learn with him. You don't have permission to betray all your parents and grandparents all the way to Moshe Rabbeinu. If you take your grandparents and tell him, live like the way I live here in Toronto, he will die and not agree. Take your grandfather from Morocco and say, hey, grandpa, would you agree to live 1 week like the way I am here in Toronto? He said, why don't you just take the knife and cut my head off now? Why are you wasting my time? Yes.
Okay. Another topic about emunah.
Yeah. Don't leave without taking my CDs, please. No?
Okay, so the question is like this. If the Bnei Israel went to Mitzrayim,
right,
all these miracles,
right,
when they had the man coming down from the Shamayim,
yeah,
why did still some didn't fully believe and they collected two and one had to go close to take it out, the one had to go further? עם כל ההתגלות של הקדוש ברוך הוא, למה עדיין היה להם חוסר אמונה?
I'll tell you why. Do you know what's the difference between miracle and nature? Nes v'teva. Nes v'teva. What's the difference? Shabbat shalom, kol tov. What's the difference between miracle and nature? Nes v'teva, what's the difference? Oh, very good. The difference is only one. Both of them is miracle. Everything that happens in nature is miracle. Rains, lightning, everything is miracle. Orange, chicken, egg, the baby eats inside, it covered with egg, everything is miracle. But the frequency is different. Nature, it happens a lot. Miracle, it's very rare. I'll give you an example. One day, you come out of the house and you see pink rain is falling. Not regular rain, pink. You look at the floor, everything pink. You look at the car, everything pink. Everything, the grass, everything pink. What would happen to you right away? You run quickly inside the house, you go inside the bathroom and hide under. Maybe a nuclear war. You never saw pink rain. Everybody goes crazy. You check quickly in the internet what they say on the news. You're shaking. You call your broker. Excuse me, sell all my stock. Who knows what can happen now? Okay. 100% of the people of Toronto hiding in boxes. Then they check, the rain stopped. Okay, let's check what happened. They come quickly, they're nervous. Okay, nothing happened. Very strange. A week later, again pink rain. How many people will hide in the boxes? Only 90%. And a week later, again pink rain, 70%. A week later, pink rain, 50% hide. A week later, pink rain, 10% hide. A week later, pink rain, nobody hides. Olam kemina what? Already 6-7 times, nothing happened. We can relax. People walk in the street. One day, Ariel Sharon woke up from coma. Open up his eyes, say, Hazak Baruch, you can go home. He comes out with a wheelchair, they take him to the street, pink rain fall. You see it? He begins to scream, take me in, take me in. But he looks around, you see, nobody gets nervous. His son, his wife, the neighbor, the doctor. Where I am? I'm not in this world. I'm already in the next world. Man, nobody cares, pink rain? Now what's the difference between you and him? You look at the same phenomena. You got used to it. He didn't get used to it yet. In 1 month, he will also don't care. When the people of nation of Israel, they started to see one miracle and another, every day, every week, miracle, miracle, every day rain falling, bread falling. It's like rain falling. Nobody gets excited. So people say, okay, I have now rain, let me keep some water for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow this miracle would stop one day. I have saving. Why people that have $100 million continue to save? Why? Don't worry, one day the money will finish, I lose, I make a mistake. The more I have, the more I save. The more I'm safe. So the fact that people saw miracles and they still make sins, it's not a question. Do you know that today we have also very, very big miracles and a lot? The only problem is that today we don't pay attention to the miracle. Let me tell you an example. When Saddam Hussein shot the 39 Scud missiles to Israel, do you know that for many, many, many years, there were a big fight in the Israeli gas company in Gush Dan, in the area of Tel Aviv, Netanya, Herzliya. They made a new central place for the gas in Gush Dan, a new one, instead of a very old primitive one. But something went wrong. The workers didn't like the new place, transportation is not good, it's in a bad location, it's not convenient for them. They refuse to move. The government cannot move them. They refuse to move. 10 years they fight. Move already, move, we lose money. We want to shut here the gas and we want to start over there. No, 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 no. One day, finally they agree. They move everything to the new place. They shut the gas. Few days later, one of the first Saddam missile fell directly on the old gas central station. If it did not happen that they moved, 1 million Israelis will get burned alive minimum. 1 million. 7 died now in Brooklyn. Half of the nation is depressed. 1 million would die. We're done. That's it. We're done. That's it. Where are we going to start now? It's 1 million dead. One few days before, after 10 years of arguments, they moved. Do you know that when Osama bin Laden attacked the Twin Towers, there's one Israeli company, חברת הספנות של צים. צים, you heard about Tzim, the boats? Freight. They have 300 employees in the Twin Towers. 1 week before the attack, they moved to New Jersey. That's why there are people in America that believe the Mossad knew about the attack because of that. It cannot be coincidence. I tell you something else. The 6-Day War. Do you know what a huge miracle it was? A small, tiny country, old airplanes, old, against Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan, Libya, Saudi, everyone together, one hand the Arab made, against tiny, modern Israel, 40 years ago. Tiny Israel, small air force, old, Kfir, Phantom. They have weapon, Russian weapon. Russian pilots fought for them. Russian pilots went in the MiGs and flew. It wasn't us against the Arabs. The Arabs don't know how to fly. It's true. Russian pilots fought. Russians are not dumb, smart people and strong. Mustafa doesn't know how to fly a Phantom, fine, or MiG. But Alexei, he knows. Vladimir knows. It wasn't Itzik against Ahmed. It was Itzik against Vladimir. Few hours, all hundreds of airplanes and tanks of the Arabs all burned. Few hours. One of my friends, when I was in the Air Force, he told a story that he went to Long Island in New York to learn in a flying school. Combat, in war tactic. So they sent him Israel to a school here. The major over there was talking about all different famous combats. How the Russians, United States, Japan, the Germans attacked Belgium, all kinds of battles. The entire week, it did not mention the 6-Day War. These Israeli pilots say, what an anti-Semite. Now, one word about our victory. He raised his hand. He said, excuse me, teacher. I'm here for a few days already. You talk about this, you talk about... I never heard you mentioning once even in your entire teaching the 6-Day War, which was the greatest air combat in the history of the world. The biggest victory by far. Do you know what the Goy answered him? He wasn't an anti-Semite. He told him, my Jewish dear friend, I'm here to teach pilots how to fight. Do you want me to teach them how God made you such miracles that they will count on a miracle that will not happen to them because it happened to you? Here we're learning how to fight, not how God does the job for us. He answered him, the Goy. Do you really think that you won? God did the work for you. How can you win against 7 countries in hours? Yom Kippurim, we were finished already. Finished. 2 hours, they will be in Tel Aviv, the tanks of the Arabs. 2 hours to an end. Moshe Dayan, the Minister of Defense with the one eye, he announced, you know what Moshe Dayan announced? He said, Chorban Bayit Shlishi, destruction of the 3rd home. That's what he announced on the news. Imagine now, United States go to a war against some country, and the Minister of Defense of America comes on CNN and say, our end arrived. What would it do to the soldiers? They're trying to save the country. What kind of a politician would say such a thing? The situation was so bad, he just couldn't hold it in. Did you know that they already had atomic bombs on the planes? When I was in the Air Force, they told me, people that were old. I was a 19 years old boy. But my officer, minister, they were 45, 50, they already participate in they participated in the old war. They told me, do you know that we already had atomic bombs already? All we need is an okay to drop an atomic bomb on the Arabs and committed suicide with them, because we were finished. Another 2-3 hours, they take over Israel, they slaughter everyone.
But they
Say,
did,
if we dead, we'll take them with us.
but they did it, Moshe Dayan, and
Yes. Yes.
because of them.
אמר אחד כמו טומי לפיד לא יכול לשבת עם הרב עובדיה זיכרונו לברכה
כן.
בגן עדן, אבל אם אחד, אני אומר, אבל למה הוא ישפוט? אם אחד נגיד כמו טומי לפיד הציל יהודי בחייו, ממוות,
נו.
הוא לא יישב שם איתו?
נו. מה?
אומרים יהודי הציל יהודי, הוא יציל לו את כל העולם.
לא, כל המציל נפש אחת, meaning מציל נשמה, soul.
איך קוראים לפיד יהודים?
Let me tell you something. I want to ask you a question.
What was the question in English?
If a person say, one Jew said, one Jew, one, he didn't, but he say if, he say if. If he saved a Jew in his life. If one Jew saved the life of another Jew, it's mitzvah. But what happens if that Jew that he saved is someone that hates God so much and fight him and write against him in the newspaper non-stop and make so many people go against religion and you saved him? You did a mitzvah or you did a sin? No? You had to let him die. That's the law. מורידים ולא מעלים.
How are you going to know what he's going to do with his life?
No, I didn't say that you know the future. I say based on what he done already. If you find someone,
He still had to have a kid, and he knew that his kid was going to be, but what? He still had to have his kid.
yes, because he has an obligation to have kids. It's mitzvah from the Torah.
Obligation to save a life.
Not necessarily.
You have a Jewish wife?
Did you ever hear about the law מורידים ולא מעלים? Google it later. Put in Hebrew, מורידים ולא מעלים, and learn the law. Don't speak about something you don't know, especially when you speak to someone who does know. If I come and argue with you about computers, I don't talk. I assume I don't know about computer. Any one of you probably knows better than me. I don't talk. I don't want to make myself look like a fool.
Right. There's an Indian of Melamed Zchut. There's an Indian of Dam.
Melamed Zchut only on the tzaddikim, not on reshaim. If someone always mechalel Shabbat, everybody knows, and now you found him on Shabbat with the car driving his wife.
Okay.
If he was Shomer Shabbat and you see him with his wife in a car, you have to say to your children, you saw him, don't worry. His wife giving birth, it's mitzvah, he takes her to a hospital. Even if you don't know.
Yeah.
But you give him full benefits of the doubt because he is chazaka of a kosher Jew, Shomer Shabbat. But if somebody that from the neighborhood is Mechalel Shabbat, and you see him in a car, you have to tell your kid, this guy is Rasha, that violate the rules of Hashem. And he's now Mechalel Shabbat. You're not allowed to give him the benefits of the doubt. It's against the law.
Misach Kedushin, there's a sugya about how ברגע אחד יכול להיות צדיק גמור.
נכון.
A person could be a tzaddik gamur.
נכון.
Because he had a machshav.
How many times it happened in history? How many times it happened in history?
How many times?
It did happen?
It can happen. And that's why it's in the Gemara.
אבל משה רבנו למשל, שהוא הציל את מיכה.
1 second.
Yeah.
רצו לשים את מיכה.
No, it was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Wait.
להשם תצילו אותו, למה אתה עושה
כרגע.
לא משנה.
Moshe saw a baby. He didn't know that this baby will be Micha.
בסופו של דבר השם הציל אותו, והוא מיכה הזה הכשיל את כל עם ישראל.
לא, מיכה לא הציל את עם ישראל. מיכה היה רשע. הכשיל את כל עם ישראל.
כן, אבל עדיין השם הציל אותו בגלל ש...
לא, השם only הציל אותו בגלל שמשה say, how do you kill babies also? They're innocent. השם also say, you doubting me? Take him out. Save him. And then later he said to Moshe, this is the baby you save. You see? Don't ever question when I make a decision. Now, let me explain to you something. Why do you think that if you're going to make millions of sins all your life, and one day you're going to think, Hashem, I love you, forgive me, that you're not going to get punished for all the mistakes you did?
קודם כל, מי אמר את זה?
What do you think? Why do you think the law is? What do you think?
I'm talking about somebody who you brought up the case, who's somebody who's driving by, who's Mechal Shabbat already.
Yeah.
As though, let's watch
Chazaka sho mechalel Shabbat. Chazaka. Certainty. I don't have to give him the benefits of the doubt if I see him 20 years drive on Shabbat. What, I'm a fool? I see him driving to the beach for 20 years. Now when I see him in front of my kids, I have to protect him and say that he goes to the hospital because he have a heart attack. What? I'm gonna play a fool? What? If it's Shomer Shabbat, I must give him the benefits of the doubt. Yeah.
Drive the car, then it's good.
כתוב בספרים,
Yeah.
there's 3 בתי דינים,
Yeah.
anybody and everybody can possibly go through. The first one is a beit din of malachim, kulo din. Go and try and tell a malach, I couldn't get up for shachrit because I was tired. Malach is going to tell you, are you kidding me? Hashem tells me to do something, I do it. Okay, the first beit din, kulo din. Second beit din is a beit din of tzaddikim, marvel. It's mixed. tzaddikim.
Where do you get this from?
כתוב בספרים.
Which Sfarim?
בדיוק, מה אני לא...
I don't know. 20 years I never saw what you just said.
You know what?
Show me the source.
I'll find it for you.
I never heard of it. That's why I cannot comment on it. I don't comment on something unless I know what I'm talking about. You understand? No, but I don't want you to finish about something I'm not.
Joking?
You need a source.
You don't
You
understand.
probably know this.
Anybody ever heard of the 3 Batei Dinim? Where are the 3 Batei Dinim? The Torah that I learned is only one Bet Din Shel Mala, and Hashem judge all the people. Not Malachim. Malach could be Sanegor, and could be Kategor. Google now. Google. Write in here. מיכאל, איפה אתה? גוגל, 3 בתי דינים. תראה אם יש כזה דבר. A person doesn't have an obligation to live in Israel.
3 what?
3 batei dinim. 3 batei dinim, he has to come based on what he say.
Yeah,
Let's see. 3 batei dinim. A person has an obligation to live in a place that he's gonna be the closest to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Some Israelis, if they live in Israel, it's very good for them. That's what's going to make them religious. But some people, the only way they be religious is here in Toronto or in New York. In Israel, they never be Shomer Shabbat. Why? התחרפנת, מטומטם, we're not like this, who made you like that? One day a week you have off from work, you don't drive, come on, there's a game of betar. But in America, there's 2 days off. Yeah, if you here got closer to Hashem, you're not allowed to go to Israel. Not allowed. You can only live in a place, doesn't matter where in the world. You can live in Iran, I don't care. In a place that you feel, over here I have good community, good rabbi, good teacher, it's very easy, I have parnasa, I have peace of mind, I can keep mitzvot, I have time to learn Torah, I have my kids in good yeshivot. Over here I feel very strong, you're not gonna move from here until you die. Mashiach come, you go to Israel. That's a different story. But I tell you how I know it. Very simple. We have a rule in Judaism. Bari v'shema, bari adif. Bari means certain, guarantee, vadai. Bari v'shema, shema means maybe. Shema, maybe it happens. Bari and maybe. Certain against maybe. Who wins? Certain wins. Not maybe. Maybe it's 50-50. I have 100-0 or I have 50-50. Which one I have to choose? 100-0. 100% to stay what I am. I have it already in my hand. I gamble to move to another country. Maybe over there I have a shul. Maybe I have a good rabbi. Maybe my children will go to good yeshivot. Maybe my wife will be happy. Maybe they won't take my children to the army and ruin their career in Torah. Maybe I have parnasa. And maybe I have good neighbors. But all of that I have right now in my hand. Why would I leave something that I have now for sure that maybe it will happen to me? No, the Avot have nothing. First of all, the Avot only did what Hashem told them. Hashem, go to here, they went to here. Go to here, they went to here. There was nothing to eat. They had to go to Egypt. That's it. The Avot only went where Hashem told them.
So there's no mitzvah to live there. That's what
There is mitzvah to live there, but it's not mitzvah d'oraita. That's number one, because there's no Bet HaMikdash. And their mitzvah to be close to Hashem is 1 billion times more important than to live in Israel.
I'm on page 4, I haven't found anything.
Anyone, when you find it, email it to me. No, but usually a case like this, if it's famous, it would come up.
Famous. That's probably why you don't know it. But
Okay, I'm not running away. My email, Rabbi Mizrachi @gmail.com. Sometimes people give a story, but they mix two stories.
Well, listen to the rest of it.
All right, go ahead. I mean, if you think that there's a...
Is Malvev. Din the
All right.
Try telling a tzaddik that I didn't get up for Shachrit because I was tired. Tzaddik is going to tell you, I understand. There's a struggle. Okay, so the din is not going to be so harsh. The din is not going to be so harsh. But Rav Avad, you try telling Rav Avad, I didn't get up for Shachrit. Rav Avad is going to tell you, okay, listen, it's hard for me also. I understand. The Malach doesn't understand. The third Beis Din, the Kadosh Baruch Hu Kulo Achim, is Melamed Kul.
This is metaphoric. There's no such thing in reality, but it's an idea. It's an idea. No, because the Torah only says one bad din. Hashem is only one judge. There's no mercy in the next world. No, there's only 1 hour of mercy that Hashem said to the angels to go out of the court is Shat HaNe'ilah. El Noah Alila Amtzilanu Mechila B'Shat HaNe'ilah. When Hashem said to the angels in the last hour of Yom Kippur, go out, and he judged the people with mercy. That's all.
So before and after the Mabul, there's no difference Hashem judged you?
Huh?
Before and after the Mabul, Hashem didn't judge differently?
In what way?
Before the Mabul, he judged X.
Before the Mabul, there's no Torah. 900 years after the Mabul, there was Torah. Everything changed once the Torah came to the
It's
world.
brought down in the Zohar, I don't remember where. Rav Shimon Bar Yochai brings it down and he says that he
I admit I did not finish all the Zohar
is
yet.
going to be in the Beis Din of a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Last question for tonight, no? Everybody understand that tomorrow night you come for Kiddush or no?
My point was...
Everybody here will accept Shabbat tomorrow 100%. No television, no electric, no driving the car. Come, go to the shul next to you. You have Ashkenazi shul only, go there. You have Sfaradi, go there. Whatever shul you have, as long as it's not conservative and reform, go over there. Don't drive, even if you like the other shul better. It doesn't matter, like, doesn't like. Go to the shul, come, meet the people. Rabbi, nice to meet you. First time I'm coming. And begin to learn the laws of Shabbat. Listen to my lecture about Shabbat. It has all the 39 restrictions. More than half of them doesn't apply. None of you is a farmer. Nobody works with cows. Nobody milks here. Nobody puts seeds in the ground. Nobody plow the ground. And nobody is sowing. Half of the things doesn't exist in your life. The only thing you're not allowed to do mainly in Shabbat today is create electric, drive a car, light fire, sew, write, cook, boiled water, tearing in measurement. Just tearing to the garbage is no problem. Tearing in equal measurement is not allowed. You understand? So cooking, boiling, all kinds of things like that is not allowed. Big deal. You make all the food ready before Shabbat. You put plata, you put hot trays, you put whatever you want to eat. Here they eat delicious food on Shabbat. I eat delicious food. Actually, it's the most delicious food in Shabbat.
What is dangerous, no?
No, it's not dangerous.
What's happening in Brooklyn?
Now, how do you know it's really happened from the plata?
That's what they say in the news.
They say that they don't want you to know. They don't want. They don't want.
2 years ago.
Wait. No. First of all, you can die from many other things. A tree can fall on a house by the wind. Okay, listen to me what I say. In America, there is a very annoying way to cover for the truth. When they see that the public will be paranoid, they never tell you the truth. I tell you, there's a bigger chance that an Arab, because Brooklyn is full of Arabs, that they live half a mile away, and they're brainwashed with ISIS now, drove and saw mezuzah after midnight, took a big rock, threw it, broke the glass, took a torch, Molotov cocktail, you know, they expert, they threw it inside the house and burned the whole kids alive. There's a much bigger chance that it happened like that, or that it happened from the plata. Because in my whole history, 20 years I speak all over the world, I didn't hear one time a plata make the whole house burn. Why? Okay, I'm not saying it's not possible, and I'm not saying for sure what they say it's a lie. I'm saying based on their record and history, they're not reliable. For instance, now, yesterday, they crashed a plane from Spain, from Germany to France, whatever. First thing they say, accident. They don't say terrorism, that nobody gets panic. Okay. Now they found the black box that they cannot hide. In a black box, they found that it was terrorism. One pilot locked the other one outside and crashed the plane and killed everyone with him. Now, why did he do it? He's a German pilot, 28 years old. Why did he do it? Does he belong to ISIS? German in ISIS. Does he belong to Al-Qaeda? German in Al-Qaeda? I don't think so. Maybe he became Muslim? I don't know. But there's only a very, very easy possibility.
So they say he's Muslim.
I can tell you in 5 minutes, they say it's Muslim.
Picture of his family's house with the name on the house, and it's written in Arabic.
Oh yeah? Okay, here you go. He answered me. He said he's Muslim.
Small question.
But I tell you one thing. I thought about another possibility. Do you know how the Arabs can break every day a plane if they want?
That's what you said.
Every day they can kidnap a kid of a pilot and say, we have your kid, we picked him up in school. You want your kids back? Crush these 500 people into the ocean, your kids will be released. What pilot would let these kids die? He'd rather die himself. That's it. That's how they don't have to get on a plane, they don't have to put bombs. I have a much easier way. All they have to do is stand by the airport with a shoulder missile. And it goes after it, infrared. Infrared, that's how they shot the tanks in Lebanon war. They knock down one tank after the other. It goes after heat of the engine. They stand by the airport, JFK, LaGuardia, Toronto, Israel, Germany. Every hour they can knock down a plane, if Hashem really wants. They have the weapon, they have it, the Hamas, the Hezbollah, they all have it. All they have to do, wait for a plane to take off, shoot a missile, boom, explode. The only airplanes that are protected against this is the Israeli airplanes. El Al. They have a system that detected and throw flares, and it confuses the missile and it goes after the flare. Now all airlines begin to buy it from Israel. Thanks to Israel, you'll be able to fly. You understand? And tomorrow they're going to arm the Jews more as a thank you.
I'm more worried about that.
About what?
The meteor you were talking about.
The media here are?
The meteor.
The meteor, yeah, the meteor, the NASA and the scientists yesterday published that a huge meteor size of a city, thousands of meters or a few kilometers, is heading towards Earth. Is estimated to hit one of the countries on Earth. If it will happen, that's it. You don't even need Mashiach. The world will come to an end one way or the other. Without even Mashiach, it'll be the end of the world. Because if it's going to kill 10 million people and knock down 100 buildings, the world will come to an end. Market would crash, economy would crash, everything will go chaos. Wait, before you leave, I want people here to promise me that tomorrow they're going to keep Shabbat. No, I'm not joking. Huh? For sure. 100%. 1%. No, everybody else. 3 weeks in a row you keep Shabbat, it becomes easy after that. Yeah. מה? אסור לכעוס אף פעם, לא רק בשבת. לא. הוא עשה עבירה של כעס, אבל זה לא חילול שבת. לא חילול שבת. Thank you very much. Anybody who wants to come here for Shabbat, wonderful Zaynes are inviting you to spend Shabbat here in this beautiful atmosphere. Take advantage. I promise you. אני מחר אהיה במונסי כבר, נוסע חזרה ניו יורק. אבל I'll see you again. Please take my CDs, don't leave without CDs. טוב מאוד. Thank you very much, Shabbat Shalom.